Honorable Speaker.
I will now call the House to order. Let us take up the question number 28. Minister in charge to reply, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Reply to star question 28. No, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
Badalbert Nuru, yeah, your supplementary questions, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Before I make my supplementary, sir, just a few things. A little context before I put that question to the Chief Minister. Because since it's a very
brief.
Yes, very brief, very precise, sir. I understand Article 371 is a delicate subject at the moment. I want to be very precise in my question. I want to remind this August House that more than 5 years in this very legislature, that is in autumn session 2019, an opposition member of the House today, of course, that member is in the ruling. This honourable member had moved a resolution seeking to bring Meghalaya under Article 371 of the Constitution of India. Now, the resolution was defeated, but I wish to recall two things that happened. One, the then leader of the opposition, who today is again leader of the opposition, had suggested that setting up of an all-party committee to examine the matter of proposing a special provision for Meghalaya under Article 371. Two, the then Chief Minister today is also still the Chief Minister. Even as he opposed the resolution, he did state that a government committee is examining the issue. So my first supplementary question is this. What is the present status of that government committee that was examining the issue of Article 371? Mr. Speaker, sir.
Sir, as of the information that has been provided to me right now, and as per the reply that I have given, so there is no such discussion that is taking place at the state level, sir, as of now.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister. Through you, Mr. Speaker, sir, once again, I ask again, Honorable Chief Minister, may you please give a specific answer regarding this government committee which had given an assurance to the House that it will be on the process for examining this matter.
So as I mentioned, sir, there is no such discussion, sir.
Sir, I understand clearly about your replies, but my question to you is regarding the government committee which you have already constituted.
So I said, sir, since there is no specific discussion on this, the question of the committee also is not there, sir.
It's not there. Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Chief Minister. So may I know whether the government today is open to forming an all-party committee to examine the matter of proposing special provision for the state of Meghalaya under Article 371?
Sir, of course, if there is a requirement and there is a demand, and if there is any reason for us to allow a discussion to take place on the matter, we can have particular provisions. But as I said, as of now, the state, the scheduled areas, we come under the 6th schedule, and the provisions are there to protect us and our culture, our land, our people, in terms of the 6th schedule. Provisions are there. So therefore, it was never felt that Article 371 should be something that we should look at. But as I said, for the matter of discussion and for opinions to be brought in, we can examine, sir.
Your last question, please.
No, sir.
Already you have asked 4 questions.
Okay. Anyway, I'll try to straight to the point. Okay, let me recall the House. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also wish to remind this House that recently in January this year, one state in India has become the first to implement Uniform Civil Code. So my question, Mr. Speaker, sir, to the Chief Minister is this. Does the government consider that having special provision for the state of Meghalaya under Article 371, it will bring protection for the people of the state from the operations of laws like Uniform Civil Code and other central laws which come into conflict with our religious and social practices, our customary law, our administration of justice as per customary law, and our customary land right. So may I get your reply, sir?
Sir, of course, this goes beyond the purview of the question, but since it is an important subject and of important concern for the people, sir, without going into too much of debate, because this is a very, very large topic to be debated, sir, there are pros and cons of 6th schedule, and there are pros and cons of Article 371. Sir, if you look at the 6th schedule areas, so there are provisions of having a legislature wing, an executive wing, and a judiciary wing, whereas Article 371 does not have those provisions. So the question is, the current system where the district councils are having their own power to legislate, are having a judiciary, are also having executive, compared to a 371 which will not have, is a matter that one will need to discuss and debate. Sir, Article 371 also has got multiple forms. It is not that Article 371 is the same for all the states. If you go towards aspects of Article 371 in different states, like for example, so there are many states that have got Article 371, and if you go into those aspects, so Article 371 grants special responsibility for governor in Maharashtra and Gujarat for establishment of separate development boards for Vidarbha, Marathwada, Saurashtra and Kutch, and for ensuring equitable allocation of funds and opportunities for these regions. This Article 371 does not mention anything about protection or not having to implement central laws. My point being, sir, that no 371 is uniform. For different states, there's a different Article 371 with different provisions. And hence, today, if we say that, the provisions that are there in Nagaland, because this one is referring to Nagaland provisions, specifically be there, then that is a matter that we have to discuss and debate. But as I said, so my point being, it's a question of really looking at this entire picture. You have the 6 schedule areas where there is a legislature wing, there's a judiciary wing, and there's a an executive wing, which does not exist in the 71. Now, what do we prefer? So I don't think it's a right forum for us to discuss all of this. It's a huge debate, sir. I mean, I think question hour will not do justice to it, and I can only see LO looking at me, saying very specific to the question. So this is a large debate which needs to be discussed in more in detail. But coming to the point of the Uniform Civil Code, sir, again, it's a very, very large topic. So one has to be very clear that a Uniform Civil Code is a law that state governments pass or governments pass in order to create a certain uniformity in the civil process in the society.
Yeah, that answers
Yes, sir.
to the question.
Yes, sir. The question is what kind of uniformity in what code that you are wanting. So really the question is about the bill and about the content of that particular law that is coming in. If you look at the law that has been passed by the Universal Civil Code passed by the Uttarakhand government, they specifically mention in that particular act that the tribal laws and tribal customs and cultures will be exempted from the provisions of the Uniform Civil Code. So therefore, sir, it is a matter of, as I said, details, generalizing it and putting it in the larger context, and then generalizing will not give us a real picture. So therefore, sir, this answer is very, as I said, complicated to give, to reply. But as I said, it's a question of debate, number one, between 6th Schedule 371, which is a very large debate. I've given small salient features of why this is slightly complicated. And of course, we are right now enjoying the benefits of the 6th Schedule area with very, very specific powers to legislate. At the same time, as I said, Uniform Civil Code is not something that is right now in the in the horizon for Meghalaya. We are very clear. There's no question of bringing in Uniform Civil Code in our state or adopting anything in that line. We are also very clear that if there is any move to make a Uniform Civil Code that is going to in any way dilute the powers, dilute the customs and rights of the tribal people, then that is unacceptable to the people of our state and to the government.
Yes, Dr. Mukul Sangma, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir. The question, the start question number 28, if you look at the question itself, will the Chief Minister be pleased to state whether any discussion has been made by the state government on the subject, proposing some provisions related to Meghalaya under the Article 371 of the Indian Constitution? If we recollect, we did discuss this issue in this August House, but that discussion was based on the resolution tabled by one of the honorable members of this August House, and we had an elaborate discussion on these. I think it will be in the fitness of things, because it is important for us also to know about how we are protected by the provision as mandated under the 6th Schedule of the Constitution of India. If you look at Para 12A, B, you will see that, in fact, let me put it that way, since for the purpose of amendment, Parliament has resorted to amending the provision of the 6th Schedule of the Constitution of India a number of times. In fact, certain power which was vested to the states have been quietly taken away also. Because if we read Para 12AB, we see that earlier there is power to resign in respect of application of any law enacted by Parliament was vested with the governor. This has been taken to precedent. So I think in order to enlighten, so that the society is enlightened about the provision of the Constitution vis-a-vis the 6th Schedule of the Constitution and Article 371, because this debate is coming up, So I think it is only good that our people really have a complete clarity. Otherwise, I'm afraid people will be misguided. There is an
Your question, please.
of weaponizing this also as a political weapon. Therefore, I would urge, since this was debated in this line only in this August House earlier, I would urge the government, let us have a discussion so that people will know the difference between the mandate of Article 371 and the mandate of 6th Schedule of the Constitution. And based on that, if there is any further issue which should be flagged before the government of India, since the 6th Schedule of the Constitution of India is under the consideration of amendment, I think this Para 12AB must be restored to the original one. I think this is one very important part. Then the state is in a position to apprise government of India about whether the law passed by Parliament at any time of the at any point of time can be applicable or should be adopted in the state or not. Let the power be vested to the state. I think there is scope for this discussion for creating an enlightened society.
So
it
your
will help all of us.
your
So may I
question
suggest, and may I request the CM to take note of this, because earlier in the reply also it was in a similar kind, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So we'll definitely examine it in a very positive way, sir.
It'll be good.
Yeah. So we move on to the next question. It's question number 29. Sri President Tumsong, Deputy Chief Minister in charge, Home, Police, to reply, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, reply to state question Number 29, sir, the matter is under process.
Bakar Pran, your
Thank you,
supplementary
Mr. Speaker, sir. May I know from the Honorable Teaching Mr. in charge of Home why this project of installation of emergency and fire substation Marukang is getting delayed. It's long overdue, sir. Last session also I raised this matter. For the last few years, just 2 years, so many fire incidents have taken place in our area. Just last December also, on the 19th December 24, 2nd December 24, two fire incidents that have occurred in our area, at Put and Kuryang village. So why this project is getting delayed, sir?
Sir, one of the reasons that the proposed fire service station that could not be established was because of the land issue. So I'm happy to inform the honourable member from Maurangkaneng constituency. Recently, government has taken over the land. And the total area is about 22,000 square feet. And we have just taken over, and the DC has already handed over to Home Police. And very soon we are going to prepare DPR for construction of the office building of the fire service station. And once that is completed, sir, the station fire service station will be ultimately operationalized.
Sir,
Yes, Coach.
when do we expect to start that project, sir?
Sir, I have already replied. Now the engineering wing of Home Police will immediately prepare the DPR. So once the DPR is prepared, then we will move for necessary sanction, and thereafter work will take place, sir.
Sir, please expedite the process, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Mukusama.
Mr. Speaker, sir, this issue of having appropriate emergency and fire service station at different places, may I know from Honorable Deputy CM whether this particular concern is being taken on priority basis based on what we are seeing as of now, you know, the wild forest fire and many other things. We keep on getting this report of, and there's a fund. So may I know from the Honorable Deputy CM which fund they would like to utilize for this purpose?
This fund will be from the state fund only, sir. And point number 2, as asked by the Honorable LO, sir, yes, the priority is being considered because we have seen it nowadays, the wildfire takes place everywhere. So we would like to set up fire service station every places which is needed. And this issue is being prioritized by the government, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I know from the Honorable Deputy CM whether, as per the mandate of the law, whether the government want to utilize the fund which is available with the state government under the State Disaster Mitigation Fund?
Yes, sir, if necessary, this can be also considered.
Mr. Speaker, sir, why I'm suggesting this, I'm asking as well as suggesting, is because the fund under SDRF cannot be utilized for any other purpose other than those scope of works which is covered under the mandate of the Disaster Management Act 2005. We have fund. So for the purpose of this particular scope of initiative and intervention by the government, I think this fund under State Disaster Mitigation Fund must be utilized. Only when you exhaust, then you can ask the Government of India. We'll end up not being able to ask Government of India because we never exhausted our fund which is available with the state government, which cannot be utilized for any other purpose. So may I therefore request the Honorable Deputy CM to examine this matter vis-a-vis the availability of fund under state mitigation, state disaster mitigation fund, and utilize it, because there are many more other areas which I am sure the government must be looking at to establish this particular emergency fire service station, keeping in mind the kind of challenges that we are confronted by.
Yes, sir. Point noted, sir.
Yes. Mr. Rupamarak, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I know from the Deputy Chief Minister whether there is any proposal for the setting up of emergency and fire service in Jengjal, which is under my constituency?
Sir, this is a new question altogether. Since I don't have the information with me, sir, so for this particular question, I require notice.
Yes, please.
Thank you for the reply, Deputy Chief Minister. Actually, Jengjal is recently been upgraded into a civil subdivision, so I demand one emergency and fire service station should be there. Thank you.
Noted, sir. Point noted, sir.
So we move on to the next question, question number 30, raised by Dr. Mukul M. Sangma and Sri Bright Strawell Marbania. Sri Rakham A. Sangma, Minister in charge, to reply, please.
Speaker, sir. Reply to question number 30, sir. A. The status of the College of Architecture and Urban Planning to run as per as below, sir. So number 1, the civil work construction for the College of Architecture and Urban Planning was completed. So number 2, service connection, water supply scheme, power and other process of power are under process of preparation and plan and estimates. So number 3, the government has conveyed approval of establishment of architecture and urban planning. Balagre and 46 posts was created, and which include 25 gazetted posts and 21 ungazetted posts. So number 4, the College of Architecture and Urban Planning, Balagre will initially cater to technical branches, that is number A, 4-year undergraduate course in architecture and 4 undergraduate course in planning with intake capacity of 30 for each branch. So number 5, roster was approved by the government. So B, so the total amount of sanction by the government for India for the project is 26 crore with funding on 90:10 ratio. Till date, government of India has released the entire amount of 23.4 crore. So the first installment amount of 11.70 crore was released on 28/2/2017, and second installment amounting to 5.85 crore was released on 28/2/2020, and third installment amounting to 5.85 was released on 3/3/23, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's a College of Architecture and Urban Planning funded by Government of India. First College of Architecture and Urban Planning ever funded by Government of India in the whole Northeast.
Now, the first installment was released on the 28th of February 2017, and the work started. May I know from the Honorable Minister in charge the reason for delay? From 2017, this is 2025. The reason for delay.
Speaker, sir. Sir, despite of all this delay, sir, now the work has been completed, sir.
No, we know the delay. Work is completed, yes, but I'm asking the reasons for delay.
Speaker, sir, that
per notice.
I reply, not with me, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the House needs this reply. This is the property of the House. This information becomes the property of the House. Therefore, lest this becomes a precedent. A project which is funded at the rate of 90:10 by Government of India, the fund is available, you complete it and ask for some more. We are blocking the further sanction of similar kind of program. You cannot end up establishing only one college in Tura and leave the rest of the state. How many thousands of students are aspiring for this kind of courses and going outside? So this House requires clarity on this. So I would like to know
The reason, this is not my repetition of question. I think it should be considered at my first supplementary. The reason for delay.
Conditions also created certain problems, but mainly because of the issue of COVID and the road connectivity, which was not part of the initial sanction, which we have sanctioned now, and now the road connectivity also has been done, since the university campus also is in that line. So now, sir, as Minister has mentioned, that there was delay, no doubt about it, but we're happy that the work is now completed, and as mentioned by Honorable Minister, we should be starting the academic session very soon.
Next question. Mr. Speaker, sir, I appreciate the CM for intervening, but I think I should make a submission before this August House. The attempt of the minister in charge to withhold this information. What is the problem in sharing? It is the privilege of the House. It's not the privilege of the questioner, the privilege of the House. I think all of us must understand that this is how our democracy operates. Therefore, I should take cognizance of this, and I would request Mr. Speaker, sir, to take cognizance of this. This type of attitude of the minister amounts to breach of privilege of the House. It must be kept in mind. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, only one more supplementary, the courses.
What is the basis based on which the course has been identified? And what is the kind of exercise that the government is looking at, keeping in mind that the moment we introduce this course, these courses are such that all the products of these colleges will be the people who are in demand, because this is one of the courses, and this is something, once somebody has with this kind of any qualification, architecture and urban planning, how much money we are spending for Ceylon City?
hiring outsiders. Therefore, understand the magnitude of the value of this particular higher and technical education in the specific field. So I would like to seek rather a very frank information from the government as to whether a due diligence is being done to decide upon the courses in as far as the courses for this particular college is concerned.
Speaker, sir, so as per the objective, as per the plan from the beginning of the project, sir. So in this college, so as I have already replied, so 2 courses will begin, sir. So 4-year degree undergraduate course in architecture and 4-year undergraduate course in planning first, sir. As and when we get the approval from the competent authority to run the courses, sir.
So, Mr. Speaker, sir, when do we expect the academic sessions to start?
Speaker, sir, so as I have already said earlier, so the online application portal opened only once in a year, that is in the month of December. So when all the formalities, be it the buildings and the service connection is completed, we will apply for the permission of approval in the month of December 2025, and as and when we get the approval from the AICT, we will start the classes, sir.
Can we expect the government to give due weightage to time? Because we are losing 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Children are waiting. So can we get an assurance that by any means, the next session onwards, the academic session shall start?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'll just supplement the answers that the Honorable Minister has given. And I would also like to, of course, respond to the Honorable LO's points that he has mentioned. So first of all, I would like to make it clear that Minister had no intention to withhold any information. I think that's wrong to judge or to conclude that he was withholding. He had specifically mentioned that the information is not with him. And that is why the information was with me. And as soon as I got the opportunity, I shared that information. So there is no question or intent of withholding any information. I want to clarify that, number one, sir. So number two, so there are different processes that need to be followed for different projects while we implement things. Different permissions need to be taken from central government. All of these are, technical in nature, and they do take time, sir. Have things been delayed? Yes, sir. They have been delayed a bit, and we are also concerned about it, and we would like to see that things move fast. And there's a reason why, sir, from the government side, as mentioned by Honorable Minister already, that we have already taken the step to sanction the different posts that are required, so that as and when we get the necessary permissions, there is no further delay. So I want to assure everybody that we will do everything in our capacity to ensure that these colleges and institutions start at the earliest.
Mr. Speaker, sir, a point of order under Rule 300 and the relevant Rule 27. You see, in respect to question, we expect the minister to be completely equipped with all the necessary information. Now we know that the department has the information. That's why the Honorable Chief Minister had the information. Why the same information is not available with the minister itself is a question. That's why I said that it will be in the fitness of things that this is avoided in future so that it doesn't become a precedence.
Sir, I think it's very clear that at the end of the day, the government has replied back to the questions that are raised by the opposition, sir. And that's the matter of at the end. If the minister did not have that information. It was there, but maybe he could not find it in the files, or whatever reason it is there. I found it, I saw the information, and I replied. I think there's no reason for us to now go into the details of that. The fact that we have replied to it and satisfied the questions and queries of the opposition is the point, sir.
Yes, Bryce Trawell.
Leave the minister.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday actually I've asked a question with regard to the status of the Shillong Government College of Engineering at Kitmola Ikenton Masar, where it has been inaugurated in the year 2023, and I do hope that this college will not suffer the same fate as this College of Architecture and Urban Planning in Tura. Coming to the supplementary question with regards to the question that has been put forth before the Minister in charge education with regards to the College of Architecture and Urban Planning. The Minister in his reply have stated that 46 posts was created, which includes 25 gazetted posts and 21 non-gazetted posts. And may I know from the Minister in charge the number of teaching faculty sanctioned posts in the above college?
Speaker, sir. Sir, that 46 out of 46 sanctioned posts for the college. So the 25 number of gazetted forces. So that reply was with me, sir. I'm just looking at it. So the out of so the so there are 11 number of teaching faculty members, sir. Sir, I'm just corrected, sir.
The total post created are 40, sir, and 20 are posts of teaching staff and 26 are posts of non-teaching staff.
This is, may I know whether this is inclusive of these 46 posts that has been mentioned here, or is it separate? Is it inclusive? Yes, thank you. The next supplementary question is, may I know from the Minister in charge the number of sanctioned posts for architects and planners in the government departments, for example, like PWD and Urban Department, and the employment opportunities in these two departments?
Speaker, sir, that's a completely different question per the subject, sir. I mean, sir, I don't have a reply on that, sir.
Specifically, why I'm asking this is because the government is planning to start a College of Architecture and Urban Planning in the state, and I do hope and believe that, keeping that in mind, the Minister in charge will have this information with regards to the number of sanctioned posts of architects and planners in these two departments, that is PWD and Urban Department.
Sir, the responsibility of the Education Department is to provide the opportunity for people to have the different avenues to be able to pursue the different courses. And therefore, the Education Department is limited to the information that is there with regarding the education and opening up of these colleges, sir. This particular information that has been asked by the honorable member of course, is linked to the entire purpose of setting up, but it is way beyond the scope of this particular question. In fact, to be very frank, that information will not be available with me also at this point in time, because, this information is about, as I said, the number of engineers or architects or urban planners that are required by the departments. That has not any context in the sense of a direct context with this particular question. So therefore, though at the end of the day, when the students do graduate, obviously, sir, they will work as government officials. Some of them will join the private sector. Some of them will start their own companies. So the idea being that there is a huge requirement for architectures, there's a huge requirement for town planners, and through opening up of this particular college, our students will not have to go to different states to study. So that's really what the purpose is, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes, Mr. Charles.
In the course of his reply, the Honorable Minister has stated that there will be intake capacity of 30 students for each branch. So may I know how many seats will be reserved for the students from Meghalaya for this course, these two courses?
Speaker, sir, that has to be worked out as of now, sir. So, maximum seat should be reserved for the state, sir. But that detail has to be worked out, sir.
No more questions? So we move on to the next question, question number 31, raised by Mr. Rupa Marak, MLA. Sri Marcus N. Marak, Minister in charge, to reply, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, answer to star question 31. A, no, sir. B, sir, the water storage tank is located at Mejadu.
Your supplementary question, please.
Speaker, sir. May I know from the Minister in charge the exact number of households which are yet to get the coverage in the implementation of the JJM in Modelgiri village, which is my locality?
Sir, this Modelgiri village has been, was included in the Dadingri water supply scheme. And in Dadingri water supply scheme, there are two villages, Ajigri and Dadingri. So Modelgiri village is within the village of, Modelgiri locality is within the village of Dadingri village. So in this village, there are 103 households, out of which 88 households have been provided with functional household tape connections, and 15 are newly grown up households.
Supplementary question. I know from the Minister in charge, when was the implementation for the mentioned village started, and what was the time frame provided for the completion of the project?
So the project was sanctioned on 16/7/2021 for an amount of 7,29,18,000 to cover two villages, as I said, Ajirigri and Dadingri. The scheme provides coverage to Modelgiri village, which is one locality under Dadingri village. The scheme is physically completed and has been provided with functional household tap connections to 856 households. But the locality which Honorable Member is saying, which is having 103 households, out of which 88 households have been provided with functional household tap connections, 15 are newly grown up households. So therefore, sir, government has already considered these 15 newly grown up households shall be covered from another scheme. These 15 households which have grown up will also be covered.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, sir, from the Minister in charge, I was seeking the time frame which was need for the completion of the project. So it has come to my knowledge that the project is being delayed. So what is the reason for the delay of the project?
Sir, I have already stated, sir, this project is already completed. Scheme which is physically completed and has provided functional household tap connections coverage to 856 households. And the remaining, which Honorable Member is talking about, is 15 only, which was newly grown up households. So therefore, the department has already prepared another scheme to cover those 15 households and will be providing that one. This project is under construction.
Thank you for the reply, Minister in charge. I will refer to the question number, sub number B, the location of the water storage. Is it the same old water storage which was constructed in the past by the PHE department, and is it the same thing which is being used for the supply of water to the JJM project which was implemented in Radingri?
Sir, I have the information only about the Mezadu here. I don't know whether this is old or new, so I have only this information. The water storage tank is located at Mezadu.
One more question. May I know from the minister in charge, when was this water storage constructed?
So the sanction was done in 16/7/2021, and now at present the project is completed. Only the pending one is for those 15 households which are newly grown up households. That project is under construction. Others already completed, sir.
One more last question.
One clarification which I need to make to the minister in charge. The location of the water storage tank constructed for the supply of water in Dading region was constructed by the PHC department long back. So under JJM, there is no water tank being constructed under Dading. Thank you.
Sir, this particular project is a project called augmentation. So under the augmentation, the government, take up the projects which are required, where there is no pipe water connections. So this augmentation project is to connect to those households which have not been connected household tap connections.
Yes, Dr. Mukul, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in view of the reply to the supplementaries, since this project is an augmentation project, naturally the existing infrastructures created have been already utilized and leveraged upon to further upgrade. And this is true to many of the existing schemes because we have invested lots of public money in the past. Now, therefore, it is necessary in order to maintain transparency. Therefore, may I know from the Honorable Minister the components of works that was implemented under the fund specific to JJM, the components of work like the laying of pipelines, if so, the length and the number of storages, the in-check point, the pumping main, different categories are there. So may I know therefore from the Minister in charge these different components of work with amount thereof for respective components of work, including laying of pipes.
Sir, that I can lay on the table of the House, sir.
So we move on to the next question. Question number 32, Bryce Tawel Marbanyang. Dr. M. Amparin Lingdo, Minister in charge, to reply, please.
Honorable Speaker, sir, Reply to star question 32. Yes, sir, the matter is under consideration.
Vice Chairman, your supplementary question, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank the Honorable Minister in charge Health and Family Welfare to her reply to the question with regards to the proposed construction of a state dispensary at Meghalaya Nonglum. This dispensary, in fact, it is one of the oldest dispensary in the state, but till date, it is being run from a rented house. So I would like to thank the Minister for her reply that this matter is under consideration, but I do hope that this dispensary will see the light of day, where we'll have a permanent dispensary, and I will request the Minister in charge to kindly expedite the process. Thank you.
So is there a question, or do I just say okay?
Suggestion.
A suggestion.
So you may reply.
Point noted. Yes, sir, in fact, this Nehru State Dispensary at Meghalaya Nonglum is not a new subject. It has been debated before, since 2020, etc., etc. And this one time, after the spot inspection that the Honorable MLA and I conducted, we have taken a lot of decisions. Now the technical proceedings are to start. This land does not belong to the Department of Health. We've already sought the NOC from the concerned Darbar. Then we have now forwarded the same materials. In fact, an estimate was done earlier under the SOR of PWD 2015. We are reviewing that, and subject to availability of funds, sir, we will pursue the matter in all honesty.
So we move on to next question. Question number 33, raised by Dr. Mizanur Kaji. Sri A.T. Mondal, Minister in charge, to reply, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, reply to start question 33A. Sir, the Batabari Community and Rural Development Block is functioning. C, yes, sir. C, sir, technical issues while shifting may affect the implementation of MG and REGA. E, no, sir. E, sir, shifting of VECs is an ongoing process and will continue when they fulfill all criteria for shifting.
Mr. Speaker, sir, through you, may I know from the Honorable Minister, sir, when the Batabari block is, since when the Batabari block is functioning, and is it functioning to its, is it functioning fully?
Sir, Batabari block was inaugurated on 21st December 2022. Since then, it is functioning, sir. Regarding fully, now we are made all efforts to make the block functioning fully. Only some issues are regarding the staffing we are doing, and as far the infrastructure is concerned, sir, DPR is under process, and hopefully very soon we will be floating tender for the new building, sir.
Yes, please.
Because, sir, as I could see, start question B answered that the transition, infrastructure and staffing issues are affecting the transition and functioning of the block. May I know that is it the reason that the VCs are not getting their 100 days mandated works? Is it the reason for that?
Yes, sir. That is the reason, because before we shift the VC from one block to another block, there are certain criteria that needed to be fulfilled. The one is that all the work should be completed, all the payments should be made, and geotagging of the infrastructure that has been created should be completed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as I have some data suggesting that in my constituency, there are villages wherein for the last 4 years, there have been nil wages or very minimal wages. So, if this transition process takes so long, then I think it causes too much of agony for the job seekers. So, I would like to request the Honorable Minister, sir, to kindly expedite the process of transition so that the VCs can get their mandated job works at the earliest.
Yes, sir, I agree with the honorable member. It is a fact also, sir, that we could not provide job cuts to some villages. One of the major issues that is affecting us is the ABPS system, that is the Aadhaar-based payment system. The Ministry of Rural Development made it mandatory that every job card holder should have the Aadhaar card seeding. And due to that, they have written us on the 1st January 2024 that without Aadhaar card seeding, no payment would be made. And that is the thing that is creating a lot of problem for us to shift the BSCs to that block and in other blocks also. The matter has been taken with Ministry of Rural Development, and our Honorable Chief Minister, he himself also personally taken. Now, on the 24th of February this year, they have allowed us for the past whatever expenditure has been, work has been done will be allowed, but henceforth no payment will be made if Aadhaar card is not seeded. Let me have this opportunity to inform all the honorable members of this August House that let us sensitize our people for Aadhaar seeding. If Aadhaar seeding is not there, some blocks are having a really difficult problem because people are not coming forward for Aadhaar seeding. We have instructed all the BDOs to take these matters to the VEC level and facilitate the VECs, providing some traveling allowances to take them to the bank. And the state level committee comprising the department and the banks also been instructed that every day after 1 p.m. they should be given the opportunity for Aadhaar seeding. So I would like to request all the honorable members, and whatever the request has been made by the honorable member from Rajabal, sir will be looking into it, and we will try to see that the shifting is done immediately and people are getting the job cut.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Now, Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme is implemented based on the mandate of Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Now, what does the Act say? Act says that once a job demand is placed, then it is binding on the authority on behalf of the government to provide jobs, and otherwise you pay the compensation. So until this can be cleared, pay compensation as per the law. Let us invoke that relevant section of the Act, and this is how the law operates. So let the law prevail. Mr. Speaker, sir, may I get an assurance from the Minister in this regard?
Yes, sir. Point is noted, sir.
Yes, you have one more question.
Speaker, sir, during the last budget session, I had a list of VCs from the Honorable CNRD Minister regarding their expiry dates. But I could see till date, those VCs whose terms has already expired, then election is not yet held. So I have a request also, and as well as I want to know also why, since so long, these elections have not been made.
Sir, many issues concerning the election is there, sir. Court cases are also there. There are 9 VCs court cases are pending before the Honorable High Court. We are awaiting. There will be hearing also on, I think, 21st of March of this month only. And moreover, there are lots of complaints. We have initiated inquiry in these things also. So we'll be looking into to see that all these matters are resolved, sir.
The question hour is over. Now we come to item number 2. There is a call-out attention notice brought by Sri Sostener Sotun, MLA, to call the attention of the Chief Minister in charge, Forest and Environment, under Rule 54, Subclause 1 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to the news item published in India Today, dated 28th January 2025, under the caption Meghalaya Byrnihat persistent with very poor air quality. Guwahati AQI poor CPCB data. Sri Sostena Sutun, MLA, please.
Honorable Speaker, sir, thank you so much for allowing me to raise the call attention notice under Rule 54(1) of the Rules of Conduct of Business, under the caption which appeared in the daily news item India Today, dated 28 January 2025, under the caption Byrnihat remains persistent with very poor air quality. Guwahati's AQR poor, Central Pollution Control Board. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, there are two types of report which relate to Byrnihat with very poor air quality, and Guwahati air quality index poor. I'll touch it with only Byrnihat, which persist with very poor air quality, sir.
Yeah.
For the consecutive years, Byrnihat air condition, the air pollution is ranked as number 1, which is very poor in the air quality. And imagine, sir, that we are facing and we have to undergo or breathe a very poor air quality, me and the people of Byrnihat. And not only the air quality, there are some issues that above the air pollution, the noise pollution that we could hear, and in fact, as we go along Meghalaya-Assam border, alongside Byrnihat, there are both set up with factories from the Assam side and in the Meghalaya industrial estate. Some of the factories, in the last few months, from the Pollution Control Board, they have taken action by closing down of some of the factories. And this, indicates that factories, they have violated the rules of the Pollution Control Board. So, sir, what I would like to state here in the August House, many times that we could feel the very bad smell that emitted from the factories. Whatever factories, we don't know, because as reported for the last many months, the CMJ breweries is closed down, but still we could feel the very bad smell coming out from one of the factory as complained by the people. Sometimes we could feel the smell of beer, we could feel the smell of whiskey, we could feel the smell of local rice beer, but anyway, it's all very bad smell, sir. The Umyam Distillation Private Limited, which the people of those areas, they have made big complaint with regards to this very bad smell, sir. So I would like to put a note on this to the government that if any action can be taken for any factories who violated the rules and condition of the Meghalaya Pollution Control Board. Of course, people are suffering, and we still, up till now, we are suffering, sir. So health issues must be the top priority. So I would like to request the government for stern action and resolve the issue of pollution in the area of Byrnihat town. And some of the points which I would like to raise, sir, that the factories must install modern technology to control various types of pollutions. That is number one. Number two, factories compound must always be eco-friendly, and the authorities must plant more trees in and around the factory areas. And I would like to request the government to set up permanent branch office of the Meghalaya State Pollution Control Board at Byrnihat, and to appoint more staff in the office of the Meghalaya State Pollution Control Board. So with these few issues, sir, I would like to request the Honorable Chief Minister to please help and resolve the pollution of Byrnihat town, so that we, the people of Byrnihat, will feel the confidence of living in our area. With only these few submissions, sir, once again, I would like to thank you for allowing me to take part in this, to raise this issue of the call attention notice. And with only these few words, I resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. May I request Honorable Chief Minister to make a reply, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the very outset, I would like to thank Shri Sostenes Sotun, Honorable MLA of Jirang constituency, for bringing call attention on the news item published on English Daily News item India Today, dated 28th of January 2025, under the caption, Byrnihat remains persistent with very poor air quality. Guwahati's AQI poor, CPCB data. Sir, this has given me an opportunity to highlight to this august House the very pertinent and important issues. I would like to state that the government is as serious about addressing this issue as is and is taking all possible steps to address it. Sir, I would like to take this opportunity to give some of the clarifications in regards to this particular issue. Please allow me to give some of the technical aspects at the very outset. Sir, with respect to the data as reported in the media, it may be pointed out that the air quality index of 341, which is categorized as very poor, was generated from the data available from Byrnihat, Assam, via the continuous ambient air quality monitoring system located in the office of the Central Academy of State Forest Service, Byrnihat, Assam, installed by the Pollution Control Board, Assam, PCBA. This data dates to 26th of January 2025 during the time duration of 4 p.m. Number 2, the Byrnihat Industrial Area, Assam, that runs along Byrnihat town of Meghalaya, has several red category industries. Central Pollution Control Board, Delhi, has identified Byrnihat, Assam, as a critically polluted area. As per direction of the Honorable NGT and CPCB, the Assam PCB has prepared the action plan and adequate measures are being taken to restore and improve the environmental quality of Byrnihat area of Assam. However, as per data generated from 4 monitoring stations of Meghalaya State Pollution Control Board, the AQI of Byrnihat during January 2025 reveals the AQI to be satisfactory for 3 locations and moderate only at Export Promotion Industrial Park, Byrnihat, Meghalaya. The Meghalaya State Pollution Control Board conducted surprise inspections at industrial units in EPIP and 13th mile on 24th, 27th and 31st of January 2025 and 5th of February 2025. So the inspection revealed violations of pollution norms including number 1, heavy emissions from chimneys due to non-operation of pollution control devices. 2, ineffective pollution control devices. 3, non-transmission of online emission data. As a result, the MSPCB took the following action. Issued closure notice to 7 industrial units. Imposed environmental compensation on 2 industrial units. Sir, I would like to state here that in line with the action plan formulated by the Meghalaya Pollution Control Board to control air pollution in the non-attainment town Byrnihat, a proposal to check road dust was prepared as per prescribed control options mentioned in the action plan that was approved by the state level steering committee on 3rd of May 2021. Sir, also I would like to state that there were 2, to summarize basically, that there were 2 different studies that have been conducted. Byrnihat being a border area and having industries on both sides of the border, there is certain level of pollution or activities from both sides. I think that is number 1. So to say that it is only happening on Meghalaya's side or only happening on Assam's side would not be fair, and it would be difficult to really pinpoint that. So at the end of the day, the 2 state governments have to work together, especially the pollution boards. And I'm happy to inform you that I have written a letter to the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam requesting him for the same, that because of the air pollution quality and the AQI in Byrnihat, which happens to be a border area, the two states and the two pollution boards must work in proper coordination and collaboration. So therefore, this process also will start. As mentioned, sir, the AQI that was captured by the Assam Data Center, the Pollution Control Board, Assam, the machines that have been set up there, the data was collected from there which showed the very poor quality. Our data, which was collected in the same month, reflected on an average that the air quality was satisfactory and moderate. But sir, as we are aware, depending on even small aspects like light shower or wind speeds coming in, the air quality could go up and down. At the end of the day, the point is that number one, the two states have to work together, and we have taken steps towards that. Number two, we have to do our part before we approach the state government of Assam or the pollution board of Assam, where we must take strict action against our own units which are flaunting the rules and laws. And I have already shared with the House that on four occasions, surprise visits were made, and when we found that certain units were flaunting the rules, we have given them closure notice, sir. I have the names of it, but I don't feel it's necessary for me to go into all of those details. And at the same time, sir, we are continuously monitoring this particular aspect. The suggestions that have been given by the Honorable Member, we will definitely examine all of them and try to see that whatever is possible, we will try to implement it. And I also take this opportunity to share, sir, with you and through this August House, a strong and a very firm message to all industrial units that are there in our state of Meghalaya, that the State Pollution Control Board is going to conduct surprise checks in many, many locations on a continuous basis. I have given a standing order to the Pollution Board that they must conduct surprise checks and take immediate action if the norms are not being followed. And we have already shown an example by closing down 7 units. This process will continue, the surprise checks will continue, and whoever is flaunting any rules and not following the norms, the government will take firm action against them, sir. So I assure the House and the Honorable Member that we will take firm action. But at the same time, sir, we have to also understand that there are many other factors that as a community also, as a society, as a locality, as a town also, we need to work together to ensure that we are able to minimize other aspects of pollution. And that also is very, very important, because at the end of the day, it's the human activity. The majority could be the industries, but some small percentage could be also because of the local activities around the town, which if as a community, we can also take the initiative, that also would help and would be much appreciated. And as a government and as the department, as the pollution board, we would be happy to partner with the different communities who desire to take steps to minimize the different aspects of pollution in the state, sir. So with these few words and the clarifications that I've given, I hope I have been able to satisfy the concerns of the Honorable Member, and also has given me an opportunity to explain to the August House the steps that have been taken by the department and the pollution board. And with this clarification, sir, I resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Member from Jirang, you may seek one more clarification if you want to.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to thank the Honorable Chief Minister for the elaborate reply and the assurance for all the factories to take action if they violate the Meghalaya Pollution Control Board, the rules that have been put in. So, and I would also want to put one more point, sir, that a joint surprise inspection by the Meghalaya Pollution Control Board and the Assam Pollution Control Board and the Central Pollution Control Board, it will help, but it should continue from time to time. Thank you, sir.
Sir, point noted, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now we come to item number 3, calling attention notice. Sri Preston Song, Deputy Chief Minister in charge Home Police, to lay a statement relating to the call attention notice by Sri Havingstone Karpan, Emily, under the caption, Arspa Laipo San, Bilorka Kilat, and Sanpu Kilotam U Kanja, Yo Kurup na Morankneng. Deputy Chief Minister, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I beg to lay a statement relating to a call attention notice by Sri Havingstone Karpan, MLA, under the caption 235 Pilor Kakyat and 10 Kilo Tam Kanja Yo Kurup na Morankneng, sir.
Now we come to item number 4, short duration discussion. Sri Brightsell Well Marbanyang MLA to raise a short duration discussion under Rule 50 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to the news item published in U Nungsai Hima, dated 26 February 2025, under the caption, Aiba ki pet ka jantia kin rai halor ka linti rel nai tuklar khaiba Nahar Kermen Sila. Brewster Well Marbanyang MLA, please initiate the discussion.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir, for giving me the opportunity to raise a short duration discussion on the Rule 50 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business, the news items published in Unong San Hima, dated 26 February 2025, under the caption, Aba Kipat Kajaintia, Rai Halor Kalintirel, Nai Tuklar Kibanabar Kermen Shila. Or let the people of Jaintia decides on railway line, outsiders don't interfere. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to raise these pertinent issues before the House with regard to the statement made by the Minister concerned, which I feel that the statement given by the Minister is inappropriate, especially as a Minister. I take strong exception to 3 points through this statement made by him. One is with regard to the issue of railway line, and number 2 is with regard to outsiders, and number 3 where the Minister said that don't interfere. And before I start, I would like to make it very clear that as a party, the Voice of the People Party, we are not against development, nor we are against railway connection. Especially, we understand the need to have goods train, especially in this part of the country, though we are not much in favor of passenger train. But nonetheless, though we are in favor of railway connection in the state, but this can only happen if there is proper mechanism check, or proper mechanism should be in place so as to see that there is no influx in the state. Presently, though without railway connection, we are seeing that the influx of illegal immigrants is on the rise in our state, and with the coming of a railway line, this will only compound the problem that is there in our state. So So I would like to make it very clear that we are not against railway connection, but provided that proper mechanism is in place so as to see to it and to check the influx of illegal immigrants within our state. Like for example, people do raise this issue that almost all states in India have been connected by train, and even the state of Meghalaya in the Garo Hills, certain portion has been connected by railway lines, but as far as the Khasi Hills and Jaiti Hills is concerned, the people are still skeptical as far as the railway connection is concerned. And we still stand by it that until and unless there is proper mechanism, like for example in the other tribal states in northeastern part of India, like for example in Mizoram, Nagaland, they do have certain mechanism to check the influx, especially of illegal immigrants by way of inner line permit. And I do request the government that before we think of implementing or bringing railway connection in our state, we should first bring the inner line permit within our state. And I would also like to take a strong exception to the statement made by the minister, where he said that outsiders don't interfere. I don't know what does he mean by the word outsider, whereas I'm concerned. I always use this phrase, Krendiam upnar, ubhoy war, maram lingam, udi upat khasi bayar. This means that as a Khasi, we are one community, united, and through the statement made by the Honorable Minister, I find that he was trying to bring what is known as divisive politics among the Khasis, which I strongly condemn the statement made by the Honorable Minister. Yes, before we talk about development, let me remind this August House, especially in today's world, when we talk about development, it is often talk in terms of sustainable development, where when we talk about sustainable development, it is an approach to growth and human development that aims to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This is with regards to sustainable development. And in the same way, I would like to state that, yes, as a state and as a community, we do need development, but not at the expense of our existence and the identity of our community. And without proper mechanism, it might lead to the change of demography in our state. And before I would like to wind up, I would like to state that, yes, we do need inflow of tourism, inflow of goods and services in our state, but we don't need influx, especially of illegal immigrants. So with these few words, I would like to resume my seat. Thank you.
Any member would like to participate? May give their names so that I can regulate the time. Yes. How many? Yeah, please send your name so that I can regulate the time. Aden Basamat, you can take the floor, but due to the constraint of time, so many items we have to cover today.
20 minutes,
so I'll give you 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So I rise to support this short duration discussion raised by our honorable member representing Meghalaya constituency. So when I look at the statement given by our honorable Minister Bakar Shilla, So I think maybe there's a slip of tongue, and I feel that we should give him a benefit of doubt. However, sir, I feel that this kind of a statement needs to be condemned in the strongest possible term. So why do we try to sow a seed of division, differences among the sub-tribes of the Khasi tribe? Let me reiterate what Pak Bright has just said, that there are 7 sub-tribes in the Khasi tribe. They are Ukindriam, Upanar, Ubhoy, Uwar, Ulingam, Umuliang, and Unongtrai. So therefore, we should not try to bring any division. And to bring home to a point, I would like to read out from this book, which is a research work about the Khasis. Here, to make us convinced that yes, we belong to the same tribe. We may stay in Ribhoi, we may stay in Giant Hills, we may stay in any part of the Khasi Giant region, but we belong to the same tribe. And we know that we have clan. And for Kakur, it is not expected for any kind of marriage to take place within the clan. So let me read out some of the clans that are there in Giant Hills and here in this part of the region where they belong to the same clan. Dengdo Ba, Dengdo Kla, Dengdo Shangang, Paryong Khnriam belong to the same kur with the Lalu Panar. That means these clan cannot have a marriage among them, sir. Shabang, Mukhim, and Kriyam, Khnriam belongs to the same kur with the Shalam Panar. Thank you, Khnriam belongs to the same kur with the Slong Panar. Shila, Pariat, and Padi Panar, Lingdo Nongri, Lingdo Nongri, Khnriam belongs to the same kur with the Sharap and Pasa Panar. So this itself speaks volume of the fact that we belong to the same tribe, the Khasi tribe. So, sir, I feel that I know that there are some forces that are trying to divide this community by saying, no, that Panar, they are not Khasis. But to those, sir, I would like to ask a very simple question. If you feel that you are not Khasis, so the question here is, how do you introduce yourself when you purchase a property or land in Maulai, in Latkot, in Nong Phamai, in Sado? Do you introduce yourself as a non-Khasi, or do you introduce yourself as a para-Khasi? So therefore, let us avoid. And I am sure that maybe this is a slip of tongue on the part of the minister, which I feel we should consider and giving him a benefit of doubt. Because even the chief minister also, sometimes he made thoughtless statement. Like yesterday, when he remarked against the members belonging to this site, that we are not responsible, we are not showing any discipline. Sir, let me inform this house that I am coming from a family that has given everything to the state, and I did not come from a family that have taken everything from the state, sir. So I didn't get the opportunity to take a break in Europe and abroad. So after a hectic tour during these 3-4 months, sir, even if I find a place anywhere to break, I take a break for rest because I'm a human being. So, sir, I don't have also an aim on an objective to become the richest person in India. So had I had that dream or that objective, I would have chosen to be in the ruling side, no matter what. But sir, I show the responsibility that we are responsible enough for the state, which is why we take this side of the house to raise issues concerning the state and its people. And it is not my wish to become also one of the richest chief minister in India, sir, but to give the best we can for the people of the state. With these few words, sir, I resume my seat.
Thank you. May I request Registrar Thongka to take the floor? please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir, for allowing me to participate on this short duration discussion moved by Shri Braj Tarwel Marbanyang, MLA from Molai, to raise a short duration discussion under Rule 50 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to the news item published in Unong Sanhima, dated 26 February 2025, under the caption, I bakipat kajantia kinrai, halor kalentirel, nai tuklar kibanabar, kermen shela. Sir, I want to appreciate the seriousness taken by Honorable Member from Molai to bring this in the form of short duration discussion and to allow everybody, every member of this House to participate. Sir, I want to participate here and to see things positively. Because if we see things negatively, we will see every time everything, we will see bad thing. For example, sir, if we see a glass of water half empty, we will see always negative thing that we see a glass of water half empty. But if we see with positive eyes, we will see a glass of water filled. But if we see with negative eyes, we will see a glass of water empty. So that's why, sir, in this statement also, only the person who speaks, he knows better about what is there inside. But while participation here, I will try to participate and to see this statement positively. Sir, number one, we never know the intention of Honorable Minister when he say, Nai tuklar kibanabar, means don't interfere people from outside. So we never know who is this outside that he mean. Whether he mean people outside Jaintia Hills or he mean people from outside the state. That we never know. Maybe his intention is don't interfere because people from outside the state, they don't know, they understand. What is his intention? He knows the best, sir. But since I don't know, I thought that maybe his intention is that people from outside the state should not interfere, should not intervene on the peoples here in Meghalaya. Sir, another thing, I want to subscribe and to agree with what President of Voice of the People, Mr. Aden Miller Basayumoj, he had spoken on that day, that we should not undermine the voice of the people, and which I subscribe and I agree 100% to his statement, that we cannot undermine the voice of the people, and maybe his intention, sir, is that we should allow the voice of the people to be raised. We should listen the voice of the people. Whether the voice of the people say they need railway, or the voice of the people say that we don't need railway, I think the intention of the minister is that to hear the voice of the people to be raised. So what is wrong, sir, if we want to hear or to allow the voice of the people to be raised? We are here in the country where we believe in the democracy, where each and everybody has the right to say, has the right to raise their voice, to say for what people wants to say. That's why, sir, maybe the intention is that we are very serious to listen the voice of the people, to raise whatever people wants to say. We are happy to see that some NGOs, some organizations has already raised their voice and they are against railway. We cannot deny the fact, sir. We have seen some NGOs from Khasi Hills, from here, they have raised their voice. And many, many people also have raised their voice that they are against railway in the state of Meghalaya. And yes, sir, we are going to hear also people from Jaintia Hill. I think there is nothing wrong to hear also from the people of Jaintia Hill, whether NGO from there, whether political party from there, whether, and not only from Jaintia Hill, even the people of the state of Meghalaya, those who have not raised, everybody has the right to say and to raise the voice. And yes, I'm very happy also to subscribe with the government. Honorable Chief Minister, he has already stated that this government is people's government. That's why this government will not do anything against the people.
This government will not do anything against the people. And I think there is nothing wrong also to listen to the voice of the people and what the people say, what the people want. This government will do according to the aspiration of the people. I'm very happy to hear the statement from the Chief Minister that this government will not do anything which is against the voice of the people, which is against the will of the people. So therefore, looking from the positive point, I don't think we should take so serious on the statement raised or brought by Honorable Minister. And I must say that this is at his personal level. He is not speaking as a minister. I don't want to take the statement as a statement of the minister. Let us take this statement as a statement of Bakr Menshela, not as a minister. And also, sir, we should not take also that this statement is a statement from a political leader. He is speaking on his own, without consultation with anybody, without consultation with the party leaders, without discussion with the government. But he is speaking at his personal level. That's why, sir, I want to request this Akos House that we should not take this as a statement officially given by a minister or by a party leader to the party whom he belongs. Sir, with this few submission, I want to resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you. May I request Lakman Dambui to take the floor, please?
Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, sir, I also would like to take part in this short duration discussion brought forward by Bryce Tarwell Barbanian. Sir, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I totally subscribe to the point raised by Honourable Member from Makrod Byrnihat Thongkhar, and I totally object to the mover of this short duration discussion, where he subscribed that Naitu Klagimadabar in other contexts. This is a very wrong, sir. We should take it positively. The people have the right to decide. We have seen that since long time back, more than 20 years, the railway in Ribhoy, which was supposed to connect Byrnihat, since the people of that side they object, so that does not materialize. And it's for the people and the people of Garo Hills, because the Mendipathar, the people of Garo Hills, they like the railway to come, so the railway to Mendipathar has become operationalized. Even yesterday, sir, we have seen the MLA from Garo Hills. They request the government, if possible, to extend the railway in Garo Hills because it is beneficial to them. So we from the Giant Hills region, we also will like to hear the voice of the people, what the people subscribe to. If the people really want that the railway should be there, we should allow. We are living in democracy where every people, every individual have the right to speak their mind, have the right to do whatever they do, but to subscribe to predetermine that this being anti-Khasi, anti-Jaintia, anti-Penar, this is a very wrong, sir. Like that day, sir, the honorable member from Nongkrem has subscribed that Jaintia election is because of the election Jaintia is not fair, sir. Sir, if the 8th MDC from Jaintia, the voice of people, VP candidate won, that is because it is not fair. Sir, I will tell him that when he quote about some polling station that they got few votes. Even in my village, sir, there are one polling station where my candidate secured only 17 votes, but the VPP candidate secured more than 300 votes. This is not fair. So to subscribe the Jaintia Khasi is very wrong, sir. When he talked about politics that day, sir, in one polling station in 2018, sir, I scored 10%, sir. Zero nota. No, sir, because he talked about the Khasi Jaintia. Why I come to this? So as a leader, we should not talk about Khasi Jaintia. We should raise a specific thing. And in this context, sir, I totally subscribe, as elaborated by the honorable member from Makrowat, that the statement of the honorable member, MLA and minister from Giant Hills, Kermanshallah, is we should let the people decide that what they want. We should not try to suffocate their voice. So I totally subscribe that this should not be taken as a Khasi, Jaintia or anything. We should take it positively that if the Garo Hills they see that Mandi Pathar, they brought the benefit to them. That's why now they want to extend to other part of the state. And we from the Khasi region, since we didn't want that thing, Byrnihat, yesterday the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister he told that if we don't get even 200 crore or so, we have to return. So we from Jaintil, as and when this proposal come from the government of India, as per alignment is saying, if the people like, we should allow, if the people don't like. So what can we do? As our government, the government under the Chief Minister is listen to the people and the good sense to prevail. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
May I request the Honorable LO, Dr. Mukul Sangma, to take the floor.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the very outset, let me profusely thank you for giving me this time to participate in this short duration discussion tabled by Honorable Member from Maulai, Sri Bright Star Well Marbaniam, under Rule 50 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I felt that it is necessary for me to be able to speak also. I think somehow or other, this whole perception which revolves around and the resultant narrative that it generates are not in sync with the core values with which our forefathers, our predecessors, our ancestors have agreed to come together and achieve the shared desired goal of having this beautiful state. We will have differences which should revolve around political differences. But I think with pain and grief in my heart, I feel that we need to correct our course of narrative which is being generated. We are all responsible leaders, and we owe responsibility towards our people, towards our generation next. And we cannot quantify the quantum of responsibility with which we must walk the talk when we talk about bringing together the spirit of oneness amongst our people. I think all our Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, and the rest have known this value of coming together to ensure that our sense of oneness gets further deep-rooted. It is now for us to carry it forward. We will have differences. We will have sometimes, we may be prompted to react, respond, but in the fitness of things, when certain statements are carried by media, it is always necessary also to respond to that. A rebuttal is important also to give clarity. Otherwise, like our honorable member from Maukurwat has expressed his perception that it might have been not with any negative intent though, but then sometimes we are also misquoted. And it is in the fitness of things to always be on guard, lest whatever we say is misinterpreted in the manner which can have its serious ramification. And ramification which really affect the sense of oneness and our unity. I think that is something which we must avoid. We have to come together to create that sense of oneness. Garo party, Khasi party, Jaintia party, these are also things. These are racial. These are racial. These are considered as something which is not inconsistent with the law of a civilized society. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, this particular issue has been brought into the House, but I think wisdom must prevail. We must love one another. I think we should take pride in being, people belonging to one particular faith, where if we go by Romans chapter 13 verses 8, 9, 10, it will speak for itself. May I request all of us to read that and guide our thoughts in the right direction. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, the matter has been brought, but I think it should be something which should be a discussion which should infuse the sense of realization for ourselves. You know, that as we move forward, we move with a sense of responsibility of shouldering, uniting our people and leave behind this legacy of unity, oneness, love one another. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Have you given your name? I think my name, the next one is Nuzul Kisingwu. You can speak after him because his name is already here. You may take your time after this. Nuzul Kisingwu, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to take part in this short duration discussion which was brought by Barrister Will Marbanyang MLA. I'm very much against this short duration discussion which was brought by Barrister Will. So, sir, first of all, as we all know, sir, that railway connection is very important. The railway connection, as has already been mentioned, it has reached to almost each and every part of the state in our country, sir, except even in our Meghalaya also, in Mendipathar. We know it is very important, sir, because once a railway comes, it will generate employment, it will also reduce the cost of transportation, and so many benefits that we are getting once a railway line comes, sir. But from the party side, sir, from UDP, even though we understand that railway line is very much needed, but we have already decided we must go as per the people's point of view, sir. It is not that once the party decided, that will be the final. That will be the final decision. Even though we have decided, but it is the final decision, we leave it to the people or to the public, what is their final decision. So, even though from the party, sir, we subscribe to the idea, as already mentioned by Honorable MLA from Meghalaya, sir, but right, the VPP also, they subscribe the idea of having a good strain in our state. We from the party also, sir, we subscribe the same idea, provided that very stringent measures should be there, should be in place to check that no illegal influx should come in our state once this railway line is brought to our state. But as I've already mentioned earlier, sir, this is all depend on the people's point of view, sir. Whether they need it or not, we have to go as per the people's point of view. So as a representative from Jaintia Hill, sir, our people has the right to decide what they want and what they don't. And the statement that was made by our Honorable Minister, Shri Kalman Srila, sir, it has nothing to do with politics, sir. We never ever had that kind of idea where Jaintia or Panar is different or Khasi or Langam is different. We as a party, I subscribe with the idea that has already been stated by Arden. We are one, sir. We are united. But there's some point which we Jaintia people need to stand and decide on our own. And it's really strange, sir, from the VP side, everything in this very simple statement, they term it as a divisive politics. So let me just bring to the knowledge of this House, sir, this statement that has been that was made by Honorable Minister has nothing to do with politics, sir. This is purely what the people of Jaintia Hills want, sir. If they want the railway to come to Clariot, let it be. If the people of Jaintia decide they are against the railway line, we are with the people, sir. So this has nothing to do with this divisive politics. We are totally stand on the ground that we are with the people of the Jaintia. Let them decide what they want. So with this very few submissions, sir, I would like to thank you once again. I resume my seat, sir.
Okay, Dilbert, you may speak now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to support the short duration brought by Honorable Member Byrnihat Marbanyang. I don't want to lengthen my speech, and I want to go straight to the point. In fact, this is not an issue to discuss about whether we want railway or we doesn't want railway. So, you know, I try always myself to convince what is black, what is white, what is wrong, and what is right. And it was really the sentiment, the speech made by Honorable Member Bakirman Shala. I will not subscribe with what respected Honorable Member Nogorki Sumo, that he was mentioning about we as a voice of people party mentioning about the divisive politics. We are not so much concerned about that divisive politics, but we are very much concerned about divisive community. We don't want to see that the community are being divided by any means. Maybe because of any interest arises. As I mentioned yesterday, that it's time not to talk about politics, but it's time to talk about policy. So I'm here to express my strong condemn for these very speeches made by Bakirman Shala. The hurt, the sentiment of the people are large, and it gives a space to a divisive community. I don't have any other say. It's a small, humble suggestion to the Honorable Minister, because we don't know the real intention. What does he mean by saying these words? If it is in my place, I would like to remind, as I have been compelled myself during the time when I faced the Honorable Judge, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Honorable High Court. I told them in front that I'm ready to tender my apology if 100 times, 1,000 times, or lakhs times, but I will not giving up to fight for the cause. So I will not lengthen my speech. Just a few, just a simple request to you, Honorable Minister. Just say a word, I'm so sorry. For that very words, that is that no outsider, he himself know better. What does he mean, outsider? Whom he mean, outsider? If it is in my, if it is I'm in your place, I would have done that. This chapter is closed. It's up to you. This is only a few expression for my end. With these very few words, Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for this opportunity.
So, Minister in charge to reply, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, a lot of points have been mentioned about this particular short duration discussion, and I thank the honorable member for bringing this short duration discussion. At the same time, I thank the members for participating in it. But surely this short duration has become a long duration discussion. And we have a very long reply to the governor's address and debate, and even a longer speech of on the budget speech. I think today will be the longest budget speech that we may have, and I'll explain later, sir. So therefore, I'm happy that we are able to hear the concerns that our members have put. Sir, without going into the details of the facts about the different railway lines there are or were proposed in the state, because all these numbers are here in front of me, I don't want to take the time of the House to go into those facts. I'd like to come straight to the issue that is there in front of us. Sir, number one, this discussion has taken place at more informal level with many stakeholders, many leaders, citizens, to get a feedback as to what would be the right way to move forward. And this, of course, has got a lot of divergent views, if I may. And obviously, there are a lot of sentimental issues attached with this entire issue of railway connectivity. And as a government, we have been very, very clear from day one that keeping the sentiments of the people in mind, as mentioned by Honorable Minister, a member from Mokurwat and other members, we have been very clear that we will only move forward with these projects after detailed consultation with the stakeholders and getting a general consensus as to how we should move forward. And at this point in time, so let me also inform the House that the suggestion that was given to us a few days back by the Leader of Opposition is maybe one of the right suggestions to move forward. That we will call different political parties, we will call different stakeholders, let us discuss. Let us put all the facts in front. Let us put all the possibilities in front. Sometimes I'm always very big fan, I should say, of this word. Sometimes when we negotiate, we end up negotiating based on position. That this is the position I take and I will not move from it. Whereas negotiations or discussions should take place based on issues. So, is it the railway that we're against? Because if we say that, then that's a position we're taking. But whereas the issue is not railways, the issue is influx. And therefore, it is only when we bring people together can we move from this position of negotiating on positions and coming to discussion on issues. And find a way whether we can actually address all the issues concerned by taking a different position compared to what position we had earlier. And that's the basic rule of negotiation, sir. And therefore, I think this it'll be a very positive way, and I would like to share that we will be calling a meeting, number of meetings. We will get our stakeholders together. Let us put everything on the table. Let us try to discuss, thrash out issues, and see if there is a possibility for us to move forward. So this I would like to state, sir, as a general statement in terms of all the railway connectivity in the state. Sir, I also would like to state this, and this is something that will be one of the important points that we'll mention while the meeting happens. And I'll say it now because the whole state is listening. That Government of India, sir, has now moved the proposals for railway connectivity to every corner of the state, to almost all the state capitals. We may be one of the few or maybe the only one left today which will be left without a rail connectivity. Sir, it's not like a warning that I'm trying to say, but it's a fact that I'm trying to mention. That maybe if we miss this bus, I don't know when this opportunity will come again. And maybe we're looking at 20 years, 30 years down the line, when we look back and say, well, should we have thought of it in a different way? So I think it's very important that we realize the gravity of the situation. Yes, while we look at the different concerns, which are very genuine in terms of the different issues related with influx and infiltration, can we find a way forward to be able to meet all the needs and address all the issues and yet not lose out on this very, very important economic development that will be an important game changer for trade, for business, for our entrepreneurs, for our farmers of the state, sir. So this is one thing that I would like to state. Sir, when we were not able to move forward with the project in Byrnihat and the Shillong project, the Honorable Minister and I had sat down about a year or a couple of years back. And he discussed about the rest of the connectivity in the rest of the state. That's how this discussion actually started, sir. At that point in time, I said, well, sir, if you're open to this discussion, I can explore the possibility by engaging with our people and find out what is the feeling of the people at the grassroots level. And that's when, sir, the discussion, obviously, sir, I'll start with MLAs because MLAs are the elected representatives and they connect with me directly. That I mentioned this point to the elected members of Jayante Hills, of rest of Khasi Hills, and the rest of the state, that is Garo Hills. And I shared that there is a possibility that government may be open to reappropriating the funds that have been sanctioned or allotted to this purpose for a different route. So I'm not saying it is going to happen, nor am I saying that we will do it, but can we at least ask and start the process? So this is the background with which this particular discussion started, sir. And the Honorable MLAs had discussed, and I'm sure in the process of this discussion, somewhere the Honorable Member must have made these statements. Sir, let me be very clear. The government's view is the government's view. And I think that is what matters. What matters is what the Chief Minister says as the head of the government and what the government spokesperson says. And I think that is what we should be focusing on. And I have made the government stand very clear today. Therefore, sir, for us at this level to be focusing on one word or two words and then trying to dig into it, and then discussing it over and over again. So I think it's beyond the level, I guess, of what this house should be into. Is it an issue? We can discuss it at a different level, sir, and maybe the honorable members can discuss and talk about it. But I think here, as mentioned by our member from Settleburg, that we're talking about policies out here, sir. And therefore, I think as a policy matter, we'll focus on how we should move forward. And as Chief Minister, sir, and as the head of the government, I would like to focus on that aspect, and I would like to clarify the stand of the government, what we are here for and what is our statement, what is our stand. And as I said, for us, yes, the railway project is important. Yes, we feel it will be a very important economic development for the state. And yes, we will be losing out if we're not able to move forward. But we will only move forward when we are able to consult and take the stakeholders on board and get a general sense so that we are able to move in a positive manner forward. Therefore, this discussion can only happen once we start engaging with the stakeholders. And as suggested by the Leader of Opposition, I would want to take that route of calling the different political parties and the different stakeholders. At the same time, sir, I subscribe to the speech that was given by our Leader of Opposition today. He is the most senior person in the House, person who has seen this House through different ups and downs, debates and discussions. And of course, in his speech, he had mentioned about the fact that at certain points, the House must maintain its decorum. The House must maintain its standards. I know that we'll be very emotional about many things. And I know we will tend to make personal comments. But Meghalaya Assembly has always been known for maintaining high decorum, sir. The Governor's address always starts with that. So I would join, in fact, the Leader of Opposition to appeal to all the members. Let us rise above our individual issues that are there. They may be important at a personal level, individual levels, that's fine. But I think at the end of the day, we have to see where we are, what this House is meant to do, move forward in a constructive and in a positive way, and ensure that we discuss matters in a way that will maintain the dignity and decorum of this House. There are so many things that were said. I'm not going to, sir, again, bring down the decorum by trying to reply to those issues. So I'm not going to touch on that. My main point being that we are here to serve the people of the state, to ensure that we are able to move the state forward and protect our people and our state. And with that objective in mind, we are moving forward, and that is the objective and the principle that is also driving us to take the decisions and the way we take the decisions in this government, sir. So with these few words and clarifications, I would like to resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Now we come to item number 5. Sri President Tensong, Deputy Chief Minister in charge Home Police, to beg leave to introduce the Meghalaya Police Amendment Bill 2025. Deputy Chief Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg leave to introduce the Meghalaya Police Amendment Bill 2025.
Motion moved. Let me put the question before the House. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the Meghalaya Police Amendment Bill 2025. Those who are in favor say aye. Aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is carried and leave to introduce the bill is granted. Sri President Tensong, Deputy Chief Minister in charge, Home Police, to introduce the bill.
Speaker, sir, I introduce the bill.
Commission Secretary to read out the title of the bill.
The Meghalaya Police Amendment Bill 2025 is introduced in the House.
Now we come to item number 6. Sri Conrad K. Sangma, Chief Minister in charge, Finance, to beg leave to introduce the Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Amendment Bill 2025. Chief Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg leave to introduce the Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Amendment Bill 2025.
Motion moved. Let me put the question before the House. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Amendment Bill 2025. Those who are in favor say aye. Aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is carried and leave to introduce the bill is granted. Sri Conrad K. Sangma, Chief Minister in charge, to Finance, to introduce the bill.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I introduce the bill.
Commissioner and Secretary to read out the title of the bill.
The Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Amendment Bill 2025 is introduced in the House.
Now we come to item number 7. Let me read out the message from Governor. 1st March, dated 1st March 2025. Order. In exercise of the powers conferred by Clause 1 of Article 207 of the Constitution of India, I, C.H. Vijay Shankar, Governor of Meghalaya, hereby recommend to the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly the introduction of the Contingency Fund of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2025. Signed, C.H. Vijay Shankar, Governor of Meghalaya. Sri Conrad K. Sangma, Chief Minister in charge, Finance, to beg leave to introduce the Contingency Fund of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2025. Chief Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg leave to introduce the Contingency Fund of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2025.
Motion moved. Let me put the question before the House. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the Contingency Fund of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2025. Those who are in favor say aye. Aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is carried and leave to introduce the bill is granted. Sri Conrad K. Sangma, Chief Minister in charge, Finance, to introduce the bill.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I introduce the bill.
Commissioner and Secretary to read out the title of the bill, please.
The Contingency Fund of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2025 is introduced in the House.
Now we come to item number 8, laying of reports. Sri Paul Lingdo, Minister in charge, Tourism, to lay the annual report of the Meghalaya Tourism Development Corporation Limited for the year 2019 to 2020. Minister in charge, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to lay the annual report of the Meghalaya Tourism Development Corporation Limited for the year 2019-2020.
Now we come to item number 9. Sri Conrad K. Sangma, Chief Minister in charge, Program and Implementation and Evaluation, to lay the annual report of the Meghalaya Society for Social Audit and Transparency for the year 2018-2019, 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2021, 2021 to 2022, 2022 to 2023, and 2023 to 2024. Chief Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the annual report of the Meghalaya Society for Social Audit and Transparency for the year 2018-19, 2019-20, 2020-21, 2021-22, 2022-23, and 2023-24.
Now we come to item number 10, Government Resolutions. Sri Paul Lingdo, Minister in charge, Social Welfare, to move a government resolution relating to the employment of manual scavenger and construction of dry latrines, Prohibition Act 1993. Minister in charge, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move a government resolution relating to the employment of manual scavenger and construction of dry latrines, Prohibition Act 1993. Whereas the prohibition of manual scavenging as an occupation is prohibited by the employment of manual scavengers and construction of dry latrines, Prohibition Act 1993, and the prohibition of employment as manual scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act 2013. And whereas expanding its ambit to include the cleaning of sewers and septic tanks, the MS Act stipulates that hazardous cleaning by an employee in the relation to a sewer or septic tank means its manual cleaning by such employee without the employer fulfilling his obligations to provide protective gear and other cleaning devices and ensuring observance of safety precautions. And whereas the legal basis to abolish the practice of manual scavenging and hazardous cleaning has existed since 1993 via the employment of manual scavengers and construction of Dry Latrines Prohibition Act 1993, but this law has always been observed in contravention. And whereas elimination of dry latrines and manual scavenging and the rehabilitation of manual scavengers in alternative occupations has been an area of high priority for the state, towards this end, the central government had enacted the employment of manual scavengers and construction of Dry Latrines Prohibition Act 1993. And whereas consequent upon the enactment of the said Central Act, under Clause 1 of Article 252 of the Constitution of India, resolutions had been passed by all houses of legislatures of the states of Andhra Pradesh, Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tripura, and West Bengal for the adoption and regulation of the said Central Act by the Parliament by law. And accordingly, the said Central Act stood automatically applied in those states in the first instance. And whereas subsections 2 and 3 of Section 1 of the said Central Act provide that it applies in the first instance to the whole of the states of Andhra Pradesh, Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tripura, and West Bengal, and to all the union territories, and it shall also apply to such other state which adopts this act by resolution passed in that behalf on the Clause 1 of Article 252 of the Constitution. 3. It shall come into force in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tripura, and West Bengal, and to all the union territories on such date as the central government may, by notification, appoint, and another state which adopts this act for the Clause 1 of Article 252 of the Constitution on the date of such adoption. And whereas a writ petition WPC number 583 of 2003 was filed in the Honorable Supreme Court of India by Safai Karamchari Andolan and others against Union of India and all states and union territories, praying inter alia for directing the respondent state governments which had not adopted the said Central Act to explain on affidavit the steps taken by their respective legislatures to pass appropriate resolution under Article 252 of the Constitution of India for adopting the said Central Act. And whereas by its order dated the said petition, the Honorable Supreme Court observed and directed as follows. Quote, and I quote, it has been brought to our notice that the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Nagaland, Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Delhi, and the Union Territory of Chandigarh have not adopted the employment of manual scavengers and construction of Dry Latrines Prohibition Act 1993. The concerned states and UT shall file affidavit explaining the reasons for non-adoption of the Act in their respective states. And whereas, in pursuance of the directive of the Honorable High Court, the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly passed a resolution for the adoption of the said Central Act in the state of Meghalaya in 2005. And whereas, taking into consideration the continued prevalence of manual scavenging, the Parliament has enacted a new Central Act, namely the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act 2013, Central Act number 25 of 2013. This act, inter alia, has provision for elimination of incendiary latrines and complete prohibition of employment of manual scavengers. The provisions in the new act encompass those in the previous Central Act of 1993. And whereas Section 3 of the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act 2013 stipulates that, and I quote, the provisions of this Act shall have effect notwithstanding anything inconsistent therewith contained in the Employment of Manual Scavengers and Construction of Dry Latrines Provision Act 1993 or in any instrument having effect by virtue of any other law. And whereas the Central Act of 1993 has now outlived its utility and may consequently be repealed. And whereas Section 2 of Article 252 of the Constitution of India provides that, and I quote, any act so passed by Parliament may be amended or repealed by an act of Parliament passed or adopted in like manner, but shall not, as respect to any state to which it applies, be amended or repealed by an act of the legislature of that state, unquote. Now, therefore, as required under Article 252 of the Constitution of India, the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly in this session proposes to resolve as follows, and I quote, that the Employment of Manual Scavengers and Construction of Dry Latrines Provision Act 1993 stands repealed in the whole state of Meghalaya, unquote.
Motion moved. Let me put the question before the House. The question is that government resolution relating to the employment of manual scavenger and construction of dry latrines Prohibition Act 1993 may be approved. Those who are for the resolution say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The government resolution is approved and adopted by the House. Now we come to item number 11. Sri Conrad K. Sangma, Chief Minister in charge, Forest and Environment, to move a government resolution on the adoption of Water Prevention and Control Pollution Amendment Act 2024. Chief Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move a government resolution on the adoption of Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Act 2024. Whereas the Parliament had enacted the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Act 2024, number 5 of 2024, notified on 15/2/2024, and whereas the Amendment Act shall apply in the first instance to the whole of the states of Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan and the Union Territories, and it shall apply to such other states which will adopt this act by passing a resolution in their legislative assemblies and legislative councils, if any, under Clause 1 of Article 252 of the Constitution, read with Clause 2 thereof with effect from the date of such adoption. And whereas the aim of this amendment is to decriminalize the provisions of the original Act, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, 6 of 1974, to facilitate ease of doing business in the country and to streamline the process of nomination of chairman to State Pollution Control Board. And whereas it appears to this Legislative Assembly to be desirable that the aforesaid Amendment Act should be adopted in the state of Meghalaya by passing a resolution in this House. Now, therefore, in exercise of the powers conferred by Article 252 of the Constitution of India, this House hereby resolves that the amendment with respect to the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Act 2024, number 5 of 2024, should be adopted in the state of Meghalaya as enacted by the Parliament. The same is enclosed as Annexure A.
Motion moved. Let me put the question before the House. The question is that Government Resolution on the Adoption of Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Act 2024 may be approved. Those who are for the resolution say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The government resolution is approved and adopted by the House. Now we will take up the item number 12. Chief Minister to reply on the debate on Governor's address. Chief Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, at the very outset, I would like to thank the Honorable Governor for his address and would like to also thank our honorable members, Sri Sostenes Sotun, Sri Rupa M. Marak, Sri Gavin Milliam, Sri Renington Lingdo Tongkar, Sri Hevingson Kharprang, Sri Merrill Bonsiem, Sri Matthew Kurba, Sri Rupert Momin, Sri Arden Miller Basaimet, Sri Violet Mikishila, Sri Jim M. Sangma, Sri Charles Maranga, Sri Bright Star Well Marbanyang, Sri Charles Pinrop, Dr. Mukul Sangma, Sri Sinsar Kupar Roy Lingdo Thaba, Dr. Mizanur Rahman Kazi, Sri Maton Sangma, Sri Lakmen Rumbui, Sri Balajit Kupar Sindrem, Sri Ronnie V. Lingdo, and Sri Remington Gabal Momin for having participated in the Governor's Address debate. Sir, there were a large number of issues that were shared by the respective members of the Legislative Assembly. And though I may not be able to specifically reply to each and every concern of every MLA, let me assure the House and the Honorable MLAs that I have, as always, personally taken a note of each of those issues, and my entire team of officials has also taken down each and every point and concerns that have been raised by the honorable members. Sir, in the course of the debate, certain sectors were touched upon. And therefore, without going into individual issues, let me just dwell on certain sectors which I felt were important for me to stress on and also to give some clarity on how we moved forward. Sir, in the speech of the Honorable Governor, we had tried to share different development programs, the different schemes and policies that this MDA-2 government has tried to bring in the last many years. So the farmers have always been a very important section of our society. 75% plus people are engaged in farming activities or farming related activities. And even during the course of the debate, many of the members had raised concerns about the different hardship that the farmers are facing. Sir, I would like to draw your attention to one of the issues that was repeatedly raised by many of the members, which was regarding the difficulties that are faced by the areca nut farmers and the difficulties that are faced by the broomstick farmers. And as we all know, they are a very large section of our society and of the farming fraternity. And because of different market conditions or forces, we have seen different fluctuations in the price that our farmers, especially of areca nut and broomstick, are getting. And after discussion with many of the MLAs and with our agriculture minister and the officials, for the very first time, the government has come out with a market intervention scheme, especially meant for non-perishable products, starting with broomsticks and areca nut farmers. So this particular program is not exactly a minimum support price. I want to clarify that. A minimum support price has a different aspect and a different way of functioning. This scheme is a very specific market intervention scheme. Therefore, what we do is that we are able to buy certain products at a certain price from certain farmers and intervene so that we are able to overall push the demand factor in the market, drive the demand by government coming in and purchasing at a higher price, which would see the overall rate of the market go up. So it's a market intervention scheme. And we have earmarked and kept a pool of about 100 crores to rotate this money to keep intervening in the market as the prices go down. So I'll just give you a small example. So for dried broom grass, as per the reports when it was made, so the prevalent price at that point in time was 35 rupees per kg for dried broom grass. And as per the TriFed, Government of India agency that monitors all these prices, the notified price of the product, which is dried broom grass, should be 50 rupees. So, based on this input and putting a 10% additional margin on the base price, the benchmark price identified by TriFed, a Government of India agency, we notified a price of 55 rupees for the farmers. So the market was prevalent at 35, we increased the price to 55 to buy. Now how does this work, sir? We have a certain quota which we buy from certain farmers. So dried broom grass, we put a quota of 800 kgs to be bought from one particular farmer. So we targeted 12,000 farmers based on, of course, the information and lists that we got from our officials at the grassroots level, and bought 800 kgs from each farmer to the max. And money was put directly into their account. Of course, this process has just started. We have only been able to, as of now, registered only about 183 farmers because this project or this particular program started just last month. We have just notified it. We decided about 2 months or 3 months back. And this is the process similarly we are following for Areca nut also, where again the prevalent price in the market was 87 rupees and 50 paisa. As per TriFed, it should have been at 100 rupees. And therefore, we added a margin of 10% again, and we offered a notified price of 110, where 400 kgs of Areca nut would be bought from 10,000 farmers. So this, we are hopeful, which is happening for the first time, sir, in our state. We are hopeful that this kind of a program of market intervention and procurement by the government will help us in pushing the demand, which will obviously lead to the price of the product going up, and will then intervene accordingly so that the prices go up in the market, sir. And the way we have worked is that this entire scheme, the implementation has been decentralized. So yes, we have nodal department, we have the state level committee, we have implementing agency, but we have district level committees where farmers are members in this committee. Different community-based organizations are also members in this committee, and they can then give their inputs and suggestions as we move forward. So having said that, the CM Assure program is one of a kind, started for the first time in our state, and we will evolve. We look for suggestions from the members. I'm sure we're not saying that this program is perfect, but we have to start somewhere. And so we have started this process. How far can we go? We will do our best so that we can touch not just these 22,000 farmers. We will hope and we'll try our best so that we can touch all the farmers who are growing Areca nut and dried broom grass in our state, so that they are able to get the right pricing for their products, which they are not getting right now because there is a market demand issue and a price issue, and they're not getting the rate that they should be getting. So therefore, sir, this CM Assure program is something that we really want to market and share with the people, and this will help the poorest of the poor farmers in our state. As I said, sir, this year alone we have 22,000 farmers that we're targeting, and next year, of course, we will try to target more. But also I would like to share, sir, that this is not a project that is going to happen every year. It's a project that will happen as per market conditions. So whenever we see the price is going down below the benchmark price fixed by TriFed, that is when the government will intervene. So this pool will lie with the government to be utilized as and when the situation demands. So at the same time, we have also realized that our farmers grow a large quantity of products. And they may be small farmers and they may not have the quantity that's required for, say, opening up their own processing plant. But if we were to collectivize them, bring them together, and ensure that their market, the produce that they have, is then brought to one location or to one particular processing unit, we realized that that would be a model that would succeed. And that is the reason why we started the program called Focus and Focus Plus. And so under these programs, we have collectivized the farmers. We have brought them together by giving them financial incentive. And today under Focus, more than 30,000 groups are today formed, and they are doing different activities. And these groups, along with different self-help groups, are then linked to a cooperative society and then to an entrepreneur who then is able to process and take the products out, sir. We realized that apart from collectivizing the farmers, bringing them together and allowing them to be in the same platform, the second objective was provide the facilities for food processing. So you'll be surprised to know that there were hardly any food processing units in our state. In the last 7 years, we have come out with a large number of processing units. I will be talking more about it in the budget speech also. But just in the last few months, in a few years, so more than 100 such units have come out, which are smaller in nature, but also at the same time we have come out with much larger units. Almost close to 32 of them are in the pipeline, out of which close to about 12 are already functional, and the rest also will be made functional. So these are very large units. And just to give an example to you, sir, the project that we have in Umdihar, the IVCS, the Integrated Village Cooperative Society, that is running this, so got a support of about 1 crore from us, from the state government. We went for what we call a community public-private partnership. This is a new concept that was developed by Meghalaya. And we did it because our communities are strong in our state. And this is just one example. So when Umdihar IVCS was formed, so the farmers used to sell their pineapples, as we know, on the road or in different shops or whatever outlets that they could find. And there was not much scope for overall processing. But with the intervention of the government of Meghalaya, a prime hub investment was made of 1 crore. And today, sir, in this area, 600 farmers are benefiting and supplying their products to this Umdihar IVCS. And you'll be very surprised also to know, sir, that we are doing it in partnership with a Bangalore-based company. This company is slicing and freezing the pineapples that our farmers produce. And after this is produced, the frozen pineapples are then taken to Bangalore, because we don't have the facilities yet to produce the next product. But then these products, which are coming out of Meghalaya, are then made into baby food powder. And this baby food powder is then exported to Switzerland, and children in Switzerland today are consuming our pineapples from Riboy, being processed here, and then further, of course, being processed. Now, this is a beginning, sir. This is just the beginning. We learn as we move along. And like this, 100 units in different parts of the state doing work for different products have started. There is a unit we have put up in Rongara, in one of the most remotest locations of our state, right at the border of Bangladesh. So in that unit, which is again run by the cooperative society, and of course there are some private partners also who are partnering with us there, but community owns that particular place, the equipments, the entire setup, which is again solar powered. And there they are able to produce chips made out of jackfruit. They call it awang chips. So the name is Uncle Chips, so they changed the name to awang chips. So it's called awang chips. And awang chips is being produced in Garo Hills. In Tikrikila, our Honorable MLA from Tikrikila is here with us. He'll tell you, sir. There is a food processing plant where almost 10,000 farmers today are supplying their product to this particular plant, again run by a cooperative society. 10,000 farmers. And you'll be surprised to see the kind of products and packaging. I think one of the most famous products that they're making today is an ice cream, sir, made from Meghalaya, made in Meghalaya, made by the products of our people of our state. And the name of the ice cream also is very interesting. It's called Nokma ice cream. So Nokma ice cream is a new brand of our state, being produced by the ginger, the banana, the pineapple, being grown by our farmers. 10,000 farmers approximately, sir, are supplying their products to this particular processing unit. My point being, sir, There's a large intervention in terms of the benefit for the farmers, whether it is the CM Assure, whether it's the CM Farm Plus, whether it's the Focus program, or whether it is food processing through prime hubs and cooperative societies. There is a huge intervention today, and the different mission mode programs. Sir, mission mode programs, our Honorable Minister Makoming is here. In his area, there are a large number of women's self-help groups today who used to grow a small quantity of Lakadong turmeric. Hardly about 1,000 metric tons 7 years back. But today, with the Mission Lakadong being launched in 2018, I don't have the exact figure with me. I just remember because I saw Makoming sitting in front. So we have most probably touched almost 20,000 metric tons in production of Lakadong turmeric. That means 20 times increase in a matter of 7 years because of the focus approach. And it's not just the production in terms of the raw turmeric, but we have close to 15 solar-powered processing units that are washing, slicing, and drying the different products. And these are all run by our women's self-help groups. And these products today are being packaged and being marketed throughout the world. And so these are small steps, I must say. Small steps. There's a long journey ahead of us, many, many more things to do. But the reason I'm mentioning this to you, sir, is that we are on the right track. Now we need to expand the work that we have done, the foundations that we have laid, the different kind of institutional setups that we've created will now empower our farmers to go to the next level. And the journey will be hard, difficult. There'll be a lot of ups and downs. But sir, we are there as a government to be with the farmers and support them in every step of the way, whether it is hand-holding them, whether it's giving them different technology, whether it's giving them financial support, or whether it's being with them during distress times when the prices of their products are low. This government is committed to being with the farmers, helping and supporting and promoting our farmers, sir. So I would also like to share a bit about some of the issues related with a subject mentioned by in the amendment that was given regarding unemployment, sir. It said that it failed to talk about unemployment. Sir, unemployment is the goal or the objective, or rather I should say employment is the goal and objective of everything that we're doing out here. So therefore, if we don't mention the word employment, it doesn't mean that we're not doing anything for it. Everything that we do in the budget is targeted towards creating employment for our youth. Sir, approximately, I have repeated this in the last many replies I've given. Approximately 70,000 plus and minus. I mean, in the sense, some years it could be more, some years it could be less. But approximately on an average, 70,000 youths enter the workforce every year. I'll repeat, sir, 70,000 youths enter the workforce in Meghalaya every year. Meghalaya is one of the youngest states in our country. Almost 45% of our population is below the age of 20. You can say almost 50% is below the age of 21, roughly, plus minus. So you can imagine the young population that we have. And therefore, this number that I'm talking about is only going to increase in the coming years. More and more youths are going to enter the workforce. And if you look at the government sector, so on an average, plus minus again, depending on the year, vacancies on an average of about 1,200 to 1,500 vacancies will arise in government job. And if you add maybe the casual and the different programs through the government programs, EAPs and all these things put together, maybe about 2,000 plus and minus jobs. 70,000 people entering the workforce, 2,000 government jobs available. So therefore the question is, what happens to the 68,000 youths? And that is the reason why, if you look at the entire vision that we have created for 2032, the number says 84,000 crores GDP. Now 84,000 crores is equivalent to $10 billion when we had come out with this target, because at that point in time we were 44,000 crore GDP, and we targeted to double it, that is bring it to 88,000. So we took a rough figure of 85,000, which matched with the $10 billion number at that point in time. So to achieve that, how can we push the different sectors to create the necessary employment by ensuring that enterprise and entrepreneurship grows, technology is brought in, and sectors like IT and tourism and different areas like food processing, where our strengths lie, how we can push this to be able to then cater to the needs of the rest of the 68,000 youth. And therefore, sir, the programs that we have mentioned in our speech, in the Honorable Governor's speech, and now you will also hear the budget, and you must have obviously read the past speeches, is all directed towards creating jobs. The investments we make in tourism, there is a direct and an indirect job creation. Yes, there can be critics who will say why we have these programs, why we're spending money. But one has to realize, sir, when an activity takes place, we have to invest in making that activity happen. But that activity, that program for that one particular day has an economic multiplier effect in terms of different activities that come out, in terms of different avenues that come out. If we have one football match out here, the taxis, the different hotels, the different restaurants, the different shops, because people who will come here will go for shopping, so on and so forth, the economic multiplier, as they call it, that impact comes in when we have one event. Our Honorable Prime Minister spoke about concert economies and how the investment made in one particular show led to an economic outcome of more than 20 times the multiplier effect. That is the kind of impact that these events can have. And therefore, tourism is a great multiplier of investment. Tourism is a great area of job creation. And that is why we as a government, and we have strength for it. We have strength for it. So just connecting to tourism, I want to share with all of you, with the August House, that we are pushing like never before to start our airport in Umroiza. 15 years back, or about 10 plus years back, a report was made that said that commercial flights can only, larger commercial flights, I'm talking about A320 and equivalent, can only land if certain mountains are chopped off, because they were coming on the way of the ILS, which is the Instrument Landing System. Now, to chop off those mountains, it would cost the government close to 7,000 crores to chop off those mountains at that point in time. Again, plus minus 6,000, 7,000 crores. Obviously impossible, sir. So last year, before we went into the decision that shall we explore for a new airport, we decided, look, this report was 12 years, 15 years back. Technology has changed today. Why don't we get another study done just to be 100% sure? And we did it. We invested money and we did a study done along with Airport Authority and other agencies. And I'm happy to inform you that report came out positive. And that report said that if the government and airport authority invests on the runway and does a bit of clearing, which is not that expensive, and extends the overall runway with the new technology available, the commercial aircrafts can land, the A320s and equivalents can land in this airport without having to chop the mountains off. So when we got that report, we shared that report with Indigo, we shared that report with SpiceJet and other airlines and said, look, if we do this, you study this report, if we do this as per this report, will you land and will you operate your flights? And they have given a confirmation that yes, if these steps are taken, then we will 100% be able to land the larger aircrafts in Shillong. And therefore, sir, with that report, now we are moving forward. We are engaging with the landowners, we are engaging with the Defense Ministry, because some of the areas require the land to be taken from them. And this engagement is under process. We've engaged with the Civil Aviation Ministry. We're getting full support. We will be able to extend our runway. Of course, these land issues need to be resolved at the earliest so that we don't miss out the working season. And we're hopeful, sir, that we will be able to land the larger aircrafts in the year 2026. If it happens early, then maybe by January. But even in a worst case scenario, we're hoping, if all goes well, at least before Christmas in 2026, we should be seeing the larger aircrafts land. And once that happens, so you can imagine the amount of opportunities that will open up for us in terms of tourism. Because for a tourist, there is nothing like a direct flight. Because it takes 1 second for them to decide. And the decision will be made easier when they know that there is a direct flight coming to Shillong. My point being, sir, that we are doing multiple activities in different, multiple sectors with that one thought process in mind, creation of jobs. Sir, India is a young nation. This is a problem not just for Meghalaya. It's a problem for the country. And I repeat to every youth that I meet. So, you'll hear the budget speech, so you'll be able to connect when I speak to the budget, when I give my budget speech. The amount of investments we're making in the youth, the amount of investments we're making in sports, why we have made sure that we have Meghalaya Games every year. Why did we work so hard to get the national games to Meghalaya? These are all connected with creating the opportunity for the youth. It's all connected with shaping, nurturing our youth so that we create and push them in the positive direction, sir. So therefore, I can go into the details of the employment generation activities. But again, as I said, it will be very time consuming. But I can just share just basics. So tourism being one, different programs, policies, whether it's the prime vehicles we're giving to the different entrepreneurs who are now using that as tourist taxis, which will continue, sir. I really wish that we'll be able to push this up to 300 to 400 vehicles. We have right now about 100 of them. I target that at least 300 to 400, if possible 500 vehicles should be there. Similarly, for the prime vehicles in terms of the agriculture prime vehicles also, which we're giving to cooperative societies, to SHGs, and to individual farmers also. Again, hundreds of vehicles have been given. We want to expand much more. These create job opportunities. CM Elevate is a great program, sir. We have been able to support 3,000 entrepreneurs till now, from small scale entrepreneurs to larger ones who will employ 20, 30, 40 people, to those smaller ones who will employ maybe 1 or 2 people. Everybody is an entrepreneur, and we have got provisions to support each and every one of them in every possible way. The IT sector. The IT sector, sir, is responding and growing like we never could expect. So today, we have companies like iMerit. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the IT industry. There's a company called iMerit. And iMerit has got about 5,000 plus employees, offices in 20, 30 locations throughout the world. And their job is mainly to do with AI, artificial intelligence. And in the artificial intelligence, what this company does is they are able to create predictability models based on the software they have. Input the models and the concerned criteria and come out with a prediction as to why something is happening or what they should do to prevent it. Example, the bud rot disease that was being mentioned by one of our honorable members, and it's a big concern for me also. I've been talking about this a lot. Honorable member had mentioned, minister had mentioned that we have been taking some steps, and this has been mainly because I have been personally intervening in this. I have seen the farms that are just, they look like a ghost town because the entire crown is gone and there's just the trunk that is left, and it just looks like matchsticks being put across, on the mountain. It's a very scary sight, sir, and farmers are really suffering. But coming back to my point of the artificial intelligence, which iMerit does, they are able to put different aspects into the modeling and the software they have. I'm giving an example only, sir, but they do it for many other things. They do it for things like agriculture, flood, forest, you name it, sir, all kind of different topics. Now, why I'm telling you this, sir, is that one of their offices is right here in Shillong. Right here in Shillong. And they have employing close to 300 people, our own boys and girls right here from Shillong, mostly from East Khasi Hills. And they are the ones who are working on these models. They are the ones who put in the input. I've seen the way they work, sir. And it's a software where then they have to just simply, they've been given like 200 steps to be done. So they go to a particular satellite picture, they take that particular clipping from that satellite picture, put it into that input, then they take the picture that has been given by the IMD, then they take that data information from it, they go to a different place, they get another data and input, and then they are able to create the predictability models. I spoke to the chairman of the company because she had come here during the inauguration, and she told me that one of the best people, the best employees that she has seen are the employees from Shillong. And she said that we would love to expand our program out here. The people from Meghalaya, the people from Shillong, the youngsters who are working with us are one of the most committed and most sincere people that we have seen in all our offices across. So we are very, very happy with the manpower out here. So this is the kind of quality that our people have. And this is a brand, not just iMerit, sir. All the other companies that are working there, 24/7i, there's another company. It's a kind of a call center come medical transcription company. Even they have given me the same feedback. So what are we doing? We are creating another IT park. So the second phase is coming up, which will have 3,000 plus seats. So there'll be more 3,000 direct jobs. So every seat goes at least 2 cycles or 3 cycles. So you'll have at least about close to 6,000 to 7,000 direct employment there. And the indirect employment in terms of the food, the transportation, the cleaning, the non-technical staff, so many things will also create more jobs. And that is why we've come out with the policy in the IT policy, which I'm sure it's in public domain. And I'll be talking about that more, where we are going to be giving 3,000 rupees per employee, per company, for the first 15,000 people who come in for creating the jobs. That means that if you're coming in as a company and you're going to set it up right now, we will give you, and you have got 10 employees working with you. Government will give incentive of 3,000 rupees per employee. That means we'll give you 30,000 rupees per month to be paid then to those employees as an incentive for coming in and setting up your business here in Meghalaya and providing the job opportunities to our youth. So that is the kind of work that we're doing. So whether it is tourism, whether it is IT, whether it's CM Elevate, whether it's the prime vehicles, all of these are linked towards employment generation, sir. So there was also a concern that was mentioned about health. So before I come to health, I'll just speak about education because this document is right here in front of me. So similarly in education, they mentioned that how will we deal with problems of our teachers and the complex problem of the NEP. Sir, here I would like to take a minute or so to at least share and discuss about the entire, I shouldn't say problem, but the complication that we have when it comes to our teaching fraternities. Sir, in the teachers, as you're aware, primarily we have the government LP school teachers and government UP and government secondary and high secondary teachers and government college. And then we have our SSA teachers who are again, as I said, part funded by Government of India and part funded by state government. And then we have the private schools which then get grant in aid to then pay their teaching staff, which is what we call the ad hoc teachers and the deficit teachers. Why I'm giving this differentiation and segregation, sir, is because sometimes we as members don't realize it. But these categories are different. So today, when we say that the ad hoc schools are not getting salary, the state government does not give ad hoc teachers salary directly. Ad hoc teachers are managed by a managing committee, which is a private school, but we give grant in aid to that managing committee, who then give it to their teachers, because the school is not owned by government. This is owned by, say, it could be, sir, I apologize, but just to give the example, it could be the TD Shira LP school. And it will be your school, and you're running it, it's your land, it's your building, everything belongs to you, you take the fees, everything. But we are giving you a grant of, say, 2 lakhs to run your school because we feel you're doing good to society, and they are doing good to society. And that is the ad hoc category, and even deficits are in a similar pattern where we give a higher scale, but then we don't own that school. It's again the TD Shira, deficit college. You own it, it's your building, everything, but we give a grant to run that school and that college. Now, government gives close to 1,000 crores every year to these ad hoc schools and deficit schools and colleges. So therefore, the first thing I would like to at least request and urge and also share with our members, that we must realize the different classifications of the schools so that we're able to address the problems in the correct way. If we mix everything together, then we won't be able to address the issues. So that's the reason it's important to classify and know the categorization of each schools. I remember some of the members had mentioned to me that, sir, the schools in my constituency have no roof. So it's important again to know, is it an ad hoc school? Is it a SSA school? Or is it a government LP school? Because then it'll depend on that. And that is the reason why, if you know this, the education, mission education, we have taken it upon ourselves that the government schools, all government LP schools, they must get a new building, or at least they must get major repair, which the process is on. And we are at the final stage now. Within this next financial year, we should be able to complete all of them. SSA schools, yes, we have been supporting some of them. And through my Chief Minister's Special Development Fund also we give. But then last comes the ad hoc categories, where most of the problem actually for school lies. Now in this, the people who look at the school and say there's no building, there's no roof. And of course it is a problem, sir. I'm not saying it's not a problem. It is a problem and it has to be resolved. So I'm not trying to run away from it, but I'm just trying to share the classification so that we're able to then address it in the right manner. So for the ad hoc school, it's not that the government and education department can give money directly to that ad hoc school. We have to give it through some kind of a grant again. So we have to give it through maybe CMSDF, or we have to create some kind of a provision. So therefore, because these schools are owned by that managing committee or by that individual, not by the government. So I think these kind of things are very important to know, sir, and to also keep in mind. And therefore, for the different categories of teachers, at every level we have been trying to engage, trying to resolve the problems. As mentioned, sir, with the ad hoc teachers also, the different associations which are present. We have about, I think, close to 15 different associations of teachers that are there in the state. We engage with most of them, and we try to resolve the problems, as far as possible, to help the teachers and to improve the overall, their status also. So in terms of the NEP, sir, we are very, very aggressively moving towards that. It is not possible for us to implement all the provisions in one go because there are so many of them. But our intent is very clear, whether it is the setting up of the Captain Williamson Sangma State University, which is the first state university of our state, or whether it is the multidisciplinary courses we have started now in all the government colleges. So whether it is Kianangba, or whether it is Tura, or William Nagar, or Sora, in all of them we have decided that multidisciplinary courses will start. So science streams will start, commerce stream will start, and wherever there is absence of any other stream, all of these streams will start. So with the government colleges, we have started this whole process of multidisciplinary courses, which is one of the most important mandates of the NEP. We have established large number of People's College. Again, about 21 of them are there. And of course, we are examining the possibility to expand the footprint, because we realize that there are a large number of students who are still not getting the facility of colleges. And of course, the different aspects of learning-centric education, whether it is putting up of different professional colleges or technical colleges, these are also being worked at, whether it is aspects of constituting different kind of committees and bodies that are mandated by the NEP. These also are being done at war footing. And many, many other steps, and I have a full report on this, but I don't think it will be possible for me to read out all of those aspects. But we are on the right track, is what I'm saying, sir. We are on the right track. Are we close to completing? No, sir. We have a way to go, because there are a lot of financial implications when we start multidisciplinary courses and provide different kind of here we have to see that all the secondary schools will have to go into higher secondary mode, because now it's a 4 years course where 9, 10, 11, 12 is continuous. So when these schools course where 9, 10, 11, 12 is continuous. So when these schools have to do and start the secondary or the higher secondary, then financial implications are there. A large number of them are again private schools being aided by us. So all these kind of challenges are there, but in a phase-wise manner, we are working towards ensuring that we achieve those goals also. So in terms of health, again, I'll be expressing and giving a lot of details in my budget today. So I will not go too much into all the details. But in the last many years, sir, we have invested very, very aggressively in creating the infrastructure and providing manpower and equipments and medicines as far as possible in the rural areas itself, sir. The point being so that health services are available at the village level, at the doorstep, at least the primary aspect, so that they don't have to travel too far. Have we completed all of the areas? Not yet, sir. There's a way to go forward. We are working towards it, but a large number has been done, and I'll be sharing that in my budget speech. But just to give a small example to you, so today in terms of medicine, this is, I think, we are one of the few states that has managed to now completely make the overall medicine supply seamless, So we are 99%, you can say, seamless. There was a point, sir, in time in 2018, I remember, when I had reviewed the health department. There was a major issue with medicines. There could be some minor issues now, but there was major issues then. And we realized that a simple process of indenting the medicines, or a simple process of storing the medicine, or a simple process of transporting the medicines, these systems were not in place. By the time a doctor would indent on the needs of that particular PHC or CHC, and that register and the file would reach DHS, Director of Health Services, by the time it would reach them, the CHC wouldn't require that medicine anymore. But then the medicine would be sent because that was indented already. And that is why we had problems, because then we used to have expired medicines, because these medicines were not expired when they were ordered, or rather they were bought. But by the time they reached the place, it was already 6 months, 1 year, sometimes even 1.5 years. And then those medicines would lie there for months and ages, and they would be of no use. So what we did, we made everything online. Today, no doctor has to give in writing or register or file anything in writing for the indenting of medicine. The indenting of medicine is online. Within a matter of minutes, once the indenting is done online, the data is sent to the DHS and to the concerned department. After every procurement is done, we have bought vehicles now to transport the medicine from our godowns or from the supplier to the CHC, which was not there before. And we have got storage houses in all the district headquarters, which again was not the case before. So I still remember in 2018 when I had the meeting, one of the DHMOs, the district health and medical officers, they told me in confidence, they told me, sir, I bring the medicines in my car. I drive from the district headquarters to Shillong. I put the medicine in my Maruti vehicle and I take that to thing. There is no. I said, why? He said, sir, we don't have vehicles. So it's not about trying to dig out and say things about the past. I'm just giving you an example of the facts. So we changed all of that. Today the vehicles are there. Today there's a system in place. There's an online indenting. And the best part is anybody, any citizen, it's not even officers, any citizen can go online and you can check which medicine is available in which PHC. Up to every single medicine. The whole stock of the medicine is open to you. This is transparency. There was one issue mentioned about transparency in the governance. How more, what better way to be transparent than to let the whole public know what medicines are today available online. They're able to check, say suppose a very distant PHC also, they can actually check how much blood pressure medicine is there, how much paracetamol medicine is there, how much other medicines required are there or not. And as per the need, the information can be sent to us and we can take necessary action. So today, sir, the entire turnaround of the medicine supply is a great example of how we have managed to ensure that our people at the grassroots level are able to get better service at a much more economical rate. So another thing in medicine I want to share with you is that we have also introduced the concept of getting generic medicine, sir. Now, why I talk about this, sir? There can be debate. I'm sure there'll be some people who say, no, branded medicines have this and generic medicines don't have this. So in certain medicines, the chemical formula, as far as I know, sir, I'm not a pharmacist or neither am I a doctor. But as far as I know, certain medicines, the chemical compositions are almost similar. Everybody knows. But because of the branding, that same paracetamol will cost 10 rupees and have the same impact, and at the same time, the same generic medicine will also have the same impact, of a painkiller. And therefore, so when somebody has to have a medicine regularly, say for example, a BP medicine. So these medicines also, there are of course many brands, and of course there is a combination and all those things. But the basic medicines, today we are also giving the options to the people. Again, I say option because it depends on the person concerned and depends on the doctor, of course. We have given the option of going for the generic medicine also, and we're making it available so that people are able to avail the medicines at a much, much more economical rate. So the same medicine which may cost 10, 15 rupees as a branded one, they're getting the generic one at 1 rupees. And if they're not comfortable with taking the generic one because they feel it's a commodity type, then of course they're free to take the other choice. But at least the option today is there. So we are providing that kind of option. And like that, sir, in many areas, we are ensuring that not just medicine, the manpower, sir. in my budget speech, I will be stressing and showing some numbers of how much manpower recruitment has been done in the health sector, which again has improved and transformed the overall health sector, sir. So therefore, I have many other points. I just wanted to touch on few of them. And as I said, we still have the budget speech. And in the budget speech also, sir, I will be more or less addressing and covering a large number of issues and concerns that were raised by the honorable members. But I thought that I would take this opportunity and just touch on a few aspects of the concerns that were raised. And of course, there is the budget debate also, when I'll be replying to the budget. In that, sir, I will take more time to again address more concerns of the MLAs. I still have these points. I will go through them again and ensure that we are able to cover as many concerns of the MLAs as possible. But sir, I have tried to at least touch on a few important issues that are there and also showcase some of the important steps that have been taken by our government and the kind of impact that these steps have had at the grassroots level, sir. So once again, I thank the Honorable Governor for his address, and I also thank the honorable members, all of them who have participated and given their constructive suggestions on how we could improve things and address issues. And with these few clarifications and different points, I would like to resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Clarifications, if any, from the movers who moved to amendment to the governor's address? Okay. Hello.
Mr. Speaker, sir, before the mover of the amendment motion to the motion of thanks to the governor, I would like to just
yes, please.
Refer to a few of the concerns which were articulated by me in my submission. I would like to, at the very outset, profusely thank the Chief Minister for elaborately dwelling on a few of the core sectors, particularly agriculture, tourism, IT, sports and entertainment, and also for reassuring us of the intent of the government to ensure transparency. Now, I have mentioned about one of the initiatives, which was again collective endeavor of everyone, Meghalaya community participation and Public Services Social Audit 2017 Act. And we went ahead with the constitution of the society to give effect to that intent. I think that is something which is very crucial because we were just listening to the reply pertaining to that water supply scheme implemented under JJM. Now, there is a matter of concern because sometimes you never know what happens on the ground zero. And therefore, the transparency part, when people don't know which particular component is being supported to augment one existing scheme for which investment to a large extent have already been made, So it's a more like a retrofitting, augmentation. So there is a need to have certain exercise put in place wherein we provide the space for the public to know on a real-time basis what is the quantum of investment and what are the scopes of work. So that is what we are talking about, Endeavor has been made because this is based on our past experiences. So I would like to request the Honorable CM to look at this, how to further augment the effort of the government by leveraging upon these few initiatives which has been already there. I appreciate that the whole issue of IT, remember 80 acres of land in New Township was given for the purpose. So it's a question of continuity and leveraging upon the initiative that has been embarked upon because every initiative comes with investment from public money for public good. So a few of these submissions which we made, I think it is in the fitness of things that the mandate of the law which was enacted by this August House, wherein everybody actually, because we were all together at that time also, though we were in the other side, but then the mandate was given by all of us. So please look at how to really leverage upon this very important piece of legislation. In fact, if we Google, there is a question, which is the state in the country which enacted a law for social auditing first? The first state, you'll see, Meghalaya. So it's something which comes with the branding of the state. So branding of the state is crucial when we try to position ourselves as one of the states which is different from others. That is how we work on the tourism also. Now, in respect of the education, I would like to just share this concern, because otherwise the perception can create some kind of false hope. Because the ad hoc schools, when we refer to ad hoc schools, earlier when we were students, we never had so-called ad hoc schools. We had government-aided schools. Somehow or other over the years, in 1990s, the government decided to change the name, the nomenclature, ad hoc school. We protested, but we couldn't prevail. We wanted to correct it. But precisely it is a government-aided school. So the nomenclature itself reflects. Ad hoc means something which will not exist for long, which is temporary in nature. But government-aided is school which are established by communities, members of the community coming together, not individual. Because now you see everywhere educated youth looking at the gap in education sector, particularly in the primary education. Lots of private schools are coming up. But these private schools are owned by individuals or families. We don't refer to them as those schools which are considered eligible for government aided. It is always the school which have been established by community who have agreed to come together to bridge the gap. So I think this particular stand of the government has been always clear, because Honorable CM in his reply was saying that it is a school which is established by an individual, by a private. But actually it is not so. It is a school which was established by the community coming together, not individual. Otherwise you will end up having more and more demand by individual entrepreneurs who are taking education also as a space wherein they can chip in and bridge the gap. So this is one area of concern. We provide them grant aid for building also. So we can do that, but then it should be for the schools which are otherwise considered as school run by the community, not individual. Or otherwise run by minority schools like missionary schools, like that. Then another issue which I flagged was that completing the projects on time. It must be one of the policy decision and strategy which should govern implementation of all the major programs. Like we talk about that Tura Medical College. Why it is important to complete it as expeditiously as possible? Because then you are able to actually ask further fund from Government of India. So this is something which I request the Chief Minister to look into, so that we will leverage upon many of these important programs like College of Architecture and Urban Planning. It took so long, complete it fast. Let all those projects which are in the process of implementation have a strategy as a matter of policy to expeditiously complete them, absorb the fund. And another part is this whole market access. Please look at how expeditiously we can use the fund available under MITP, because that is the area which is supposed to be covered by the fund under MITP to provide the access to market. So if this whole integration and with the fund that is available are aggregated, I'm sure we will have more and more avenues opening up, and I think there will be reason for people to have a positive, rather, I must say, hope. Hope is reason for us to dream and aspire more. So with this, I would like to urge upon the CM to look at that. Another part is that legislation, and another part is to complete all those important major projects for which we have the fund, and see that we get more fund.
Yeah. Any more clarifications? Yes, please, from the mover.
I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Honorable Chief Minister for his extensive reply on various important issues. I would like to dwell on one issue
which I think is missing in the reply. In my address, in my speech, I have mentioned about healthcare facilities in the government hospitals. See, the rural people going to the government hospitals, they are always asked to get the better treatment in private clinics and private hospitals. As we have known that the government is funding the hospitals in a very extensive way. But why these people are, if we are funding, we are giving funds to the government for the better facilities. Why the government hospitals are sending these poor people to the private hospitals for the better treatment? Is it mean that better facilities are not available in the government hospitals? This is the only thing, this is the only clarification I want from the Honorable Chief Minister. With this, I resume my seat. Thank you.
Clarification.
Sir, I would like to thank both the honorable members, our LO and our member from Dading, for their concerns. Sir, I will not go into details, but definitely, sir, the act that was referred to, the legislation that was referred to, the Public Meghalaya Community Participation and Public Service Social Audit Act of 2017, so definitely is a very, very important as well as a very powerful mechanism to ensure that we are able to achieve the different goals that we were meant to achieve. And therefore, it's not just about the completion of the project and on time or the completion of the components of the project, but is that project actually having the social impact that it's supposed to have? So you may have completed the hospital, but is the health improving of the people or not? So therefore, it's a very, very powerful and the right way to move forward. And definitely, sir, we are in fact doing a lot of it. And we are also examining on how to expand this further so that more and more departments and all the other programs and policies can also come into this. So definitely, sir, I can assure the House that we will ensure that this particular audit acts and the rules are implemented properly. And in different development aspects, we look at this issue and implement this issue. So regarding the teaching, of course, the point mentioned by Honorable LO is correct that this community owned, but there are some that are also privately owned that are in the list, and this is because of multiple reasons which I don't want to get into at this point in time. But it has happened, and there are such schools also, and it's there now, sir. So we need to figure out how we are going to come out of that aspect. It's not so simple; it's complicated. But so the ad hoc schools and these government-aided schools, they are doing their role. There's no doubt about it. They are providing the service. They're doing their best. But we need to figure out how we can monitor them in a better manner, how we can ensure that ultimately the quality of the education, the grassroots goes up. So these are the challenges that we face. But for us going forward, sir, we'll have to really examine all these aspects. There is a huge demand for hundreds of schools who want ad hoc grant now, deficit grant, and which we already are paying about 1,000 crores. And if we were to take in more schools, then the amount would go up even further. So these are difficult choices, sir, but I thought that I should take this opportunity to at least explain the different classifications and the challenges we face. And we are slowly and steadily untangling the knots and trying to, without disturbing the system too much, we are trying to see how we can efficiently improve the overall education system. So regarding the points mentioned by the Honorable MLA from Dadingri, he was of course correct in certain aspects. There could be situations where some treatment may be required because the kind of technical support and the manpower support in certain cases is not available. But as far as my knowledge goes, this is not the norm, sir. It doesn't happen in every case. It doesn't happen to all the patients. So therefore, the cases and the problems that can be handled by the hospital is normally handled by the hospital. Referrals are made only in situations where the hospital or the doctors feel that they require more advanced treatments which may not be available in that particular hospital or that particular center at that point in time. So it is not a general thing, but also to give some kind of comfort to the honorable member that in the last few years we have been very aggressively moving towards making our CHCs as first referral units. So different CHCs have been given high-end equipments and proper infrastructure and manpower so that basic operations can be conducted at the CHC level itself. And the upgradation of different civil hospitals and district hospitals is also on the cards. We've already started working very aggressively in Tura and also in some parts in Jowai also. Similarly, in Nongstoin area and other headquarters, we intend to ensure that more and more machines will be put in. I was just going through my appointment list. So in the month of April, I will be going to Tura, where we will be inaugurating the MRI machine in Tura, as well as the mother and child hospital. The extension building is also ready for inauguration. So efforts are continuing. It's a continuous process, and we will ensure that we are able to improve the overall facilities. But yes, if there are any specific cases that the honorable member would like me to personally intervene and take necessary action, where certain cases which could have been handled at the district hospital were unnecessarily referred to private hospitals, then yes, this is not a good thing to do. And definitely, if there are cases like this, please let me know. I will take personal intervention and action in this case. But as I said, in general, I don't think that is the case, and I have not come across cases personally where somebody has complained to me. This is at least one of the few cases I'm hearing from honorable member. But wherever it is possible, the hospitals must conduct the treatment and operation and medical intervention at the district hospital or the PHC or the CHC, and only in situations when they are not able to handle, only then is it referred to the private hospitals or to higher hospitals. Thank you very much.
Mover of the amendment motion withdraws his amendment. Just one point, just submission only, no clarification further. It's for the Chief Minister to take the note of this submission. Pertaining to this education and so-called category of ad hoc schools, I think this nomenclature, I will make a submission through you, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the government may take cognizance of this nomenclature and decide to change. I tried to do during my time, somehow or other, under the circumstances, sometimes you end up not being able to do what you want to do. So it's my personal desire and desire of many of the teaching community, because ad hoc means temporary, So this nomenclature itself is very confusing. Therefore, the earlier name, government-aided school, it sounds very well. And they all know it's government-aided school. And there was a guideline earlier, eligibility criteria. So kindly do that. Let there be some criteria so that people will know who are going to be eligible to approach the department even for grant. So that we don't end up facing this kind of request coming to all of us. As, politician, you'll end up, with all this kind of requests. So once there is a guideline, eligibility criteria, we are safe also, and then it will give a clear direction as a matter of policy. So this is my submission. So I'll be very happy if this submission is
one line that the Honorable LO will be happy to know that we are actually very, very seriously examining this issue. Just before the Assembly session also, we had a very long meeting with the Honorable Minister. It's tough. It's got a lot of concerns, because tough. It's got a lot of concerns, because once you touch this, it's got concerns, because once you touch this, it's got ramifications. Concerns, because once you touch this, it's got ramifications from all Hello has mentioned. But it is needed, sir. The streamlining is needed, and as I mentioned, we are trying to untangle these knots without creating too much of turbulence and too much of disturbance in the system, and not trying to affect too many people. We would like them to obviously be how they are, but if we can restructure it, then it's better for the entire teaching community, and better for the school, and most importantly, better for the students. So it's a very good suggestion, sir. We are definitely examining this.
Now, may I know the mind of the mover, Sri Rupa Mara, as to whether he will withdraw his amendments to the motion of thanks?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I would like to thank personally the Honorable Chief Minister for his prompt reply and commitment and assurance towards my concern. So I am very much satisfied with the reply and assurance which he has given in this August House. So I would like to withdraw my motion. Thank you.
Now, let me put the question before the House. The question is that the mover has leave of the House to withdraw his amendment. Those who are for the motion say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is carried, and the amendment to the motion of thanks to the Governor's address has been withdrawn with the leave of the House. Now let me put the question before the House. The question is that the members of the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly assembled in this session are deeply grateful to the Governor for the address which he has been pleased to deliver to this August House on the 28th February 2025. Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is carried, and the motion of thanks to the Governor's address is adopted. Now we will take up item number 3, but I would like to ask the Honorable Chief Minister whether you want a break, short break.
Intent, I think it will be the fitness of thing to invoke the first proviso of rules Rule 11 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to give us some time, because we are all hungry also.
Yeah. Right. The House will adjourn for half an hour. We will